Well, I sure hope I actually got an 11-star bonus, otherwise this stream is going to fall flat as a flitter right off the bat. I guess we're going to find out shortly after I collect the rewards. I'm actually just joking around. I was guaranteed the 11-star bonus. I was nowhere close to the cutoff. That would be funny, though. Come in with the 10-star bonus and then hurry up and start trying to queue games and hope that nobody did math. But as you can see, we hit the 11x right here. Oof, man. Let's see, I need to do a little housekeeping things here. Go ahead and collect some gold. This is over. I always re-roll this daily quest. I don't like this one at all. Not really interested in Tavern Brawl, Arena, Battlegrounds, or Duels, so I usually just re-roll it. And I guess we'll go ahead and bust open some packs. I'm actually saving my standard packs. I've got 8, but I think I'm just already saving them for a next expansion. I actually don't have this entire current set, but anything that I don't have, I could either craft, or I'm just not interested in the first place. So I'm going to go ahead and start saving these. But I'll bust open the standard packs here. Hey, Mohammed. Nice to see you. And hopefully I pronounced your name right. If I didn't, make sure you get after me in the chat. I'm doing well. I hope you are. It's a little bit tired today. Had a long day at work. But other than that, doing good. Can't complain too much here. Kind of hoping that I get some of the recently nerfed cards just so I can get a little bit of extra dust. I forgot this card was actually even in the set. You did it very well. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Very kind words. Alright, and the other thing that I want to do is clean up my deck list a little bit here before I start queuing up into the game. So I think I'm kind of in the mood to play a little bit of aggro. And aggro isn't really... I don't know, it's just not good right now. There's so many other things that beat it, like Blood Death Knight. I think Druid can have some draws sometimes where the aggro just doesn't get there. So, you know, when you really start trying to, I don't know, get a better rank, aggro probably isn't the best choice. But when it comes to the first of the month, I always like to try to play something just a little bit different. You know, just kind of have some fun, enjoy the game a little bit. Usually by the end of the month, even for me, not necessarily like a super try hard, but I always want to make sure that I get that 11-star bonus. I guess I'll just leave those. But I was looking around, and I actually found an Imp Warlock deck that I wanted to play around with a little bit. And then I also, earlier today, I was working on an Arcane Hunter deck that I wanted to play around with a little bit as well. This is just imps. Let me grab this other deck real quick here, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start queuing up some games. Deck code. This is an interesting list. I didn't know exactly how to round out the list as far as this Arcane Hunter. So I actually put 2 copies of Azure Drake for the card draw and the spell damage. Also, I think I like the weapons in this deck. It's going to tend to be a more aggressive deck, so even just being able to equip the weapon on 4 could potentially be pretty good. Plus, there's, you know, it's somewhat of a spell-heavy deck, so we might be able to generate some type of a beast along with the weapon here as well. Let's see, nerf didn't change a lot, just slowing Blood Death Knight. Yeah, that's true, the nerfs, there really weren't a whole lot of nerfs. And they definitely didn't have too awful much of an impact, but I think the designers pretty much intended to not have a super big impact on Death Knights because they didn't want to make them too weak, which is probably a wise decision. Undead Priest is still strong. Oh, my camera's a little bit fuzzy here. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Actually, I think I looked better when the camera was fuzzy. I had a bad experience with Undead Priests, Mohammed. I played it, and I think I lost like 6 games in a row, and then I deleted the deck. And it was a deck that I just took from somebody else.
Cower before Death's Keeper.
This hand isn't bad. I think we would definitely want to keep the Wild Seed stuff. Poacher and Wild Spirits. With the Trinket Tracker, it guarantees to draw us an Arcane spell. We would likely just want to tempo out the Farstrider on turn 2, and this will at least give us an Arcane spell to get buffed. Also, we're up against Death Knight here. I think I'm just going to keep this hand. If this is Blood Death Knight, I'm almost positive that we're going to lose. I don't think this deck has any shot whatsoever. I was actually kind of hoping... Well, that's a nice... it's going to be a really strong turn 3. So I think I'm going to play this on turn 3 rather than the Wild Spirits. Looks like it's not Blood unless they're running a 30-card version. I was hoping to not see a lot of Blood Death Knights in the early part of the expansion. And that top deck is actually gives me a bit of a dilemma. I think it's probably better to go Spirit Poacher on 2 into Wild Spirits on 3 than to just start trying to buff my Arcane spells. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. And this guy, of course, is going face. You never want to make a trade like this. Well, not never, but definitely not in this situation. Yeah, it depends. A lot of lists, and Hunter's still fun to play. I enjoy Hunter. Hunter is actually the deck that I have won the most with. I've got by far more wins on Hunter than I do any other class. Our opponent played a Plague Strike, so we know we're up against Unholy Death Knight. And I'm just going to go ahead and get down the Wild Seeds here. And it looks like we're just going to be taking a double trade here. Not ideal, but we do at least clear our opponent's side of the board. Turn 4, likely just the School Teacher. And then maybe on turn 5, we can buff our Arcane stuff. The buff to Halderon, at the very least, now that it buffs Arcane spells in hand, means that you don't get punished for holding it like we are with this particular draw. It would have been nice to hit the Stag to be able to get the weapon and just be able to swing face. We also have the weapon here. I think I'd still rather have a minion on the board. And this is interesting as well. We'll be able to discover an Arcane spell. Maybe we can hit an Eversong Portal, which feels like it could be really good in this matchup to be able to get a couple of 4/4s with Rush. And then we could potentially buff the Eversong Portal even more next turn. I think it's just a pretty easy Arcane quiver here. So then on turn 5, maybe just Weapon and Noggling. And then on turn 6, we could take a look at just buffing. Yeah, and I'm going to want to kill this thing as well. I could actually trade here. I almost want an Arcane Shot to remove the 4/2 as well, though.
Who to shoot?
Another interesting turn. But I'm pretty sure I want to remove as much of my opponent's board as I can. I need to equip the weapon first. I'm going to have to swing into this guy, unfortunately. Do I, though? I can probably just take the... It really doesn't matter. I hate putting 8 damage into this, but I guess that's what it's going to end up looking like, no matter which way we do it. So we'll make the play like this. And I needed to make sure I played the weapon first so that casting the spells will start buffing this guy. Heard there are some mid-range lists that perform well. Yeah, this is unfortunate. If our opponent actually has the... That's a nice top deck, though. That's actually really good. I think we just play this Arcane stuff. Ricochet Shot will deal 3. We need to clear this in case our opponent has the Grave Strength. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to Wicked Shot. And we're going to hope that we hit all minions here and not face... Unfortunate that we actually hit this minion. If we would have hit this and I could have traded there, it would have been a little bit better, but I think it's fine. We actually kind of high rolled on the 3-drop a little bit with the 2-5. Our opponent was able to create the Scourge, so I'm just going to go ahead and concede. We lost this game.
Masterful.
Bit of an oversight by Blizzard, I think, to still allow Death Knights to be able to create a card as powerful as the Scourge when they went in and made all of those 3-rune cards undiscoverable. So unfortunate there. The other danger that we were going to be in is if our opponent was able to hit Lord Marrowgar. If they had drawn that card with as many corpses as they had, it was going to be an issue as well. So a little bit unfortunate. I felt like we were in the game right up until our opponent played their discovered copy of the Scourge. But them's the breaks. That's likely a bad matchup for the deck anyway. Ooh. I think it just started raining here.
Your soul shall be mine.
Up against the Rogue this time, and I actually like this hand. This Imp is definitely a keep. I think you keep the Librarian and the Location. The Imp Gang boss is probably actually a throwaway, though. The deck is going to play a little bit different because of the cards that rotated. We no longer have the 1-mana summon 2 1/1 Imps with the tradable. I'm going to toss the Imp Gang boss. I don't want to keep it just to have a nice curve when I feel like there's better cards that we could get. And this might actually be one of those better cards that we would rather have in our hands versus the Imp Gang boss. Question is, do we want to use the coin on turn 1? Or is it going to be better a little bit later in the game? If we use it on turn 1, on turn 2 we can drop the Library and actually go ahead and get down a buff. We also have the Voidwalker. I think I'm going to hit the board here as quickly as possible. Our opponent kept 3 cards. We know it's likely going to be a Miracle Rogue. Which again is probably just going to be a bad matchup for this particular deck. Again, aggro. I just want to play aggro right now. I feel like the beginning of the season is a good time, but I don't necessarily think these decks are going to be the best decks to be able to play if you're trying to win games. But you also never know if you don't actually get out and experiment, so we're going to get out and give it a try here. But I'm kind of expecting if it's Miracle Rogue, there's going to be like Serrated Bone Spikes, there's going to be the Rushing Stenographers, the 4/4s. They're going to be able to clean our board up really nicely, and then I'm just going to be sitting here being really, really sad. And we actually see a Cult Neophyte come down, which is an interesting choice. So, again, this turn is pretty obvious for me. I'm going to Location, and I'm going to take a trade, and then I'm going to push face. And as you can see, I made a mistake there. I missed 1 damage. I shouldn't have attacked with the Imp first. That was me just not thinking. But our turn 3 is going to be Fiendish Circle, and then we're going to buff the Librarian with the Vile Library. And it could actually potentially be enough to win the game if this sticks. Hopefully this doesn't get removed before we're able to play the Fiendish Circle. If it does, then we're still just going to buff one of the Imps. We're just going to have 1 5/5 instead of a much bigger Flustered Librarian here. And then on turn 4, it's potentially this is going to be infused. So this is good for us here. We're doing that. We're going to take the buff, and then we're punching our opponent for quite a bit. So the important thing to keep in mind here, if I lose this game because I'm missing 1 damage, it's because of the misplay I made, not because I'm unlucky or my opponent's lucky or top decks or anything else. So I try to always focus on the things that I did poorly when looking at a loss or thinking about a potential loss, more so than, you know, blaming the stars or my horoscope or whatever else it is people blame when it comes to being lucky or unlucky. I think the only, well, they would have to go off to be able to address this, if assuming again that it is Miracle Rogue, or they just have to get really lucky with the Potion Belt and have the destroy random minion here. And they're actually going to be creating quite a bit of potions, which is really bad for us. But it's really also hard to imagine that I would trade 7 damage into this. This can cause us to lose the game, but I think if I put 7 damage into the Putricide, it can also cause us to lose the game. So I'm just going to play out my Infused. And of course you can see it's actually 10 damage here. And we end up getting there. So if I trade this 10 damage into the 1/4, it's just a losing play. So Imp Warlock getting there, at least in the very first game. Hey Howie, 11x feels good, man. I gotta be honest with you, man. I'm kind of jaded on the whole 11x bonus. It's kind of like I just expect it, just because I usually tend to have it. But when you're used to having 11 stars and then you end up with 10, it's like the worst feeling in the world, man. The climb to legend is such a grind if you only have 10 bonus stars. Just the slog from Diamond 5 to Legend. So I try to always encourage people, because usually if you can hit Diamond 5, you can hit Legend. You just have to play lots and lots and lots of games to be able to get there. But when you have the 11-star bonus, I kid you not, you can have a 40% win rate and you'll probably get to Legend faster than if you only have the 10x bonus. It just makes that much of a difference, being able to get 2 stars per win at that level.
Cower before Death's Keeper.
Up against Demon Hunter, this is all a toss, by the way. There's a lot of different Demon Hunter decks right now. People are playing Big Demon Hunter, there's Relic Demon Hunter, there's Spell Demon Hunter. Just so many different versions. Demon Hunter is a very good and versatile class right now. We see it's not Spell Demon Hunter. So we're just going to start playing cards. Unfortunately here, I've drawn 3 4-cost cards. I'm drawing like the entire top end of my deck, which feels like it's going to be a really good way to be able to lose this game. And the fact that they play this Taste of Chaos on turn 1 tells me that we're playing against Big Demon Hunter. Because I don't think that's a play that you make unless you're playing Big Demon Hunter. I could be totally wrong, but that's just the feeling that I get when I see that play, because why do you feel the need to kill a 1/1 in that fashion? I feel like this is, again, just a pretty straightforward Wild Spirits here. I mean, every other play is kind of like a losing play. Unfortunately, again, with the Wild Spirits letting me down, I didn't hit the Stag, so no weapon for us. Turn 4, we likely just go ahead and play the Terror Coil so that the next spell we cast is going to cast twice. I'm just going to need to remember that it's going to be active when the time comes. This will give us School Teachers on 5. We also have the weapon here, but I think I just want to go ahead and get the spell bonus in place rather than equipping the weapon. It also puts a 4/4 on the board. I might actually need to cut the weapons, because this is only the second game I've played with this deck. But what I've found is that our opponent clears everything. So this is Big Demon Hunter that's drawn all their removal. We're making no progress whatsoever. But getting back to the point, I just feel like I never want to equip this. I thought it was a good idea to include it in the deck just because of the 4 damage. Being able to punch face with an aggro deck felt good. But I think I'm actually going to cut this card and figure out something else, because I just find that I never want to actually play it.
Anybody?
When an enemy attacks your hero... Maybe the tracking is actually just better in this situation. I think I want to need to try to discover something relevant in the deck here to be able to win this matchup. And I think that's going to be the Eversong Portal. So we do still have, you can see with the animation, the Terror Coil is still active. If I play this next turn, it's going to be 2 4/4s because it's going to cast twice. And it is Big Demon Hunter. Sniff that out on turn 1. So yeah, this is a perfect top deck. So we're going to buff our arcane spells. And then this is going to cast twice, which is actually going to summon... It should summon 4. And it does. So that gives us a trade, and then we push damage face. So the good news here is these all have 4 health. So if our opponent has like a Arcanist Unleash Fell play, they do heal back to full. But we're still going to have 16 damage on the board. Unless they have both. They actually have second Immolation Aura, and there goes our entire board. So unfortunately, again, let me go ahead and get the weapon. I'm going to see if I can draw the... Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm going to take the Ricochet shot here, just because we have the Arcanist in hand. And I'm just going to punch face and pass the turn. I'm going to hold on to the arcane spells just because I do have the spell power here. And we can actually remove this, but we're going to take damage doing it. That should be fine. I'm going to draw a bunch of cards here. This is going to draw us 5. Make sure we don't overdraw. And that Arcanist is going to be a nice pickup for us as well. I think I'm going to save... No, I think I want to play the Ricochet shot. It guarantees 4 more damage face. That's going to leave us the Arcane shots, which we can actually target at our opponent.
Who to shoot?
Actually, how much damage is this? 4, 9, 13? It's close to lethal, but it's not quite lethal. I think I just want to weave in a hero power. Could draw another spell. But I'm just going to weave in the hero power. And I'm going to go ahead and swing here. May have been a mistake to actually swing. I kind of wanted the minion on the board. But again, it allows our opponent a little bit of healing from the Unleash Fell. Maybe should have held the weapon swing, because I likely was not going to be equipping the... Unfortunate that they were able to get the heal. So we're going to have... 11. Let's see, we draw a 1-cost spell. Actually, with this casting twice, how much mana is that?
I got 2 shots just for you.
We can't actually target a hero though with the arcane spells this turn. Yeah, I think I kind of messed up the order a little bit here. And I'm also going to take damage. Yeah, this was a bad way to go about this turn. And I'm going to equip the weapon and swing face. We can still potentially kill our opponent, but I played that turn extremely poorly. This card befuddles me because I so rarely play it in any deck that's not Demon Hunter, and so I always forget that you can't target the hero. So if I drop this on the board, I can't actually aim arcane shots at my opponent's face, and then I kind of wasted the Terror Coil. Our opponent has eye beams for days, which is bad. And I think I actually just want to draw even more cards out of my deck. Try to buff the arcane spells that we have left. And I can actually just go ahead and draw the last Ricochet shot with this guy. Unless I just don't want that minion on the board. Maybe I just don't even want another minion on the board at this point. I'm going to start the turn like this. We'll draw another 2 and see where we end up. And I want to draw the Ricochet shot. And then I'm going to play the Halderon. And I think I just want to weave in the hero power. And I am actually going to hold on to this weapon. We're going to pass it back to our opponent. So I don't want to swing here. We can make the beast even bigger. And I think we should be able to kill our opponent now. We need 9 damage. That's 4. And then the spell power from this is going to do it. So I want to make sure I Arcane Shot first. Then I can get down the Arcanist. We can go ahead and add in a Thalnos. Ricochet Shot. And then we'll be able to swing face here. So I didn't really play this game all that well. There was a massively misplayed turn. But at the end, we were still able to get there. So I win the game, but it's not necessarily a win that I feel good about because I don't feel like I played all that well. So over time, playing good and losing is going to have you a better win rate than playing poorly and winning, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Correct play is always going to get you more wins over a larger sample size. Whereas, you know, getting lucky and winning an individual game is, you know, maybe feels good in the moment, but it's not necessarily, you know, good for your gameplay.
Thompson versus
We're playing a warrior, man.
Arise, my faithless.
Trying to remember what warrior decks are even out there. I don't think we're keeping any of this. The Baritone Imp is interesting, but I think we still just want to go for the Imp stuff like we did in Imp Warlock previously. So like Flame Imp, the Location, Fiendish Circle, and Mischievous Imp, I think, are the cards that we really want. Especially going first, we want to be able to hit the board, hopefully with like a Librarian or a Flame Imp. And we get neither. We actually have 2 Void Virtuosos. I think I'm going to play that. There's probably scenarios where I would want to tap here. As far as what warrior we're playing, there's different versions of Black Rock and Roll. There's kind of like the big minion version. There's the Enrage version. And then there's also people who have been playing like Menagerie Warrior. So quite a few different options for what warrior deck we could be facing. And depending on what our top deck is, the play might actually be tap on turn 2. Other option would be to play our 1-drops, but we play our 1-drops and we have like no cards left. It's an interesting pickup. Yeah, I'm just going to tap here while we don't take damage off of the tap. A bit of an awkward draw. On turn 3, I think I do want to get down maybe 2 minions just so that this is infused on turn 4. Although that kind of assumes that they die, and they may not die against this particular version of warrior. I think this is just a better play. So I'm going to get down the Gang Boss. And then turn 4 is likely going to be minions plus the No Fin Impossible. And then maybe we have this infused. This will be good. That actually changes things, though. Because I think I want to play the Fiendish Circle along with No Fin Impossible. Try to make the biggest board that we can possibly have. So what if I just play... I'm going to play the Location and these minions, and then I'm going to save that that Location for next turn. Turn 5 is going to be Fiendish Circle, and then the No Fin Impossible buff. Hopefully that's going to make a board that our opponent's just not going to be able to remove and we get to hit a lot with. Blackrock, yeah. It's definitely Blackrock, and I think this is going to be the one where if they play Blackrock on turn 5, I'm pretty sure we just lose, because there's going to be like a huge Ziliax, and we have no way to really be able to get through it. This is interesting. This is hopefully going to allow us a board. I would love to top deck Refam to be able to get it infused. But it may just not be in the cards here. We're also only going to get 3 imps off of this, but I think it's fine. So we're going to do that. And I think I want to land the buff on the Void Virtuoso. Just because it does protect us from a little bit of damage in case we start to draw into like this fatigue type stuff. So I'm going to put the buff on this guy. And then play the No Fin Impossible. So this should be pretty challenging for our opponent to be able to remove this entire board. If they run Brawl, and then they can attack with this weapon, then I think that would do it. But at the very least, this prevents them from being able to just jam the Black Rock. Unfortunately, they do play Brawl, and they have it. And so our entire board is going to die here. With the exception of maybe one 2/2 that's going to be left, so... yeah, we do still have a 2/2. So that is unfortunate. I want to tap here. We're going to need more resources, I think. Play this, and then we're going to punch face. So, game's not totally over. We're going to be able to draw a lot of cards next turn, if we need to. But we're going to need to kill our opponent rather expeditiously here, is the other issue. I'm assuming they're going to take a swing here. They would be silly to not swing. They want to set up the AoE from this. I don't understand how you can have a card called Baritone Imp, and it's actually not an imp. And why aren't all demons imps and demons? Or maybe it does count as an imp. Void Virtuoso is dead. I think I still want to play this. I can play this and the Flame Imp and draw cards. I'm maybe going to hold this for after their AoE. I guess it does count as an imp. It just doesn't say it like on the tribal tag. We should be drawing quite a few cards here. And we actually did draw Refam, so that's actually really good news for us. They're going to clear this board, and then we're going to be able to come right back with a Refam. And I think I'm actually going to tap just for one additional card here. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the buff off of this guy. Push the damage while we can. We set our opponent to 7. They're going to have to actually attack with this weapon, so they can hit the 2/2. They need a little extra to be able to deal with the 8/8. Feels like we're in a decent position. 2 damage from hand with this deck. That's unfortunate. I wonder if they run Shield Slam. I don't have to wonder if they run Shield Slam anymore. Good news is Refam is infused. So I think I just go in. I mean, they've already played one Brawl. I'm not going to play around a second version of Brawl. So I'm just going to go in. And we're going to see if this actually wins us the game here. Assuming the deck runs 4 board clearing effects, 2 weapons and 2 brawls, surely they don't draw all 4 of them, right? They're looking for it, though. And we get there. Control Warrior, absolutely horrible deck. They cleared our board 3 times, man. Brawl, and then the two Kodoha drum kits, and we still just overwhelmed the Control Warrior. It felt like they had a favorable draw with that as well. So we'll switch it back to the Arcane Hunter. If you're going to play Control, I feel like there's just better Control decks to play. Priest is better. Death Knight is better. Warrior just kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel for like a year and a half now. Maybe only about a year. It was probably about this time last year when Warrior was just absolutely gutted with the nerfs. We got another Demon Hunter.
Cower before Death's Keeper.
And I'm going to toss all of this. I think with this deck you want like Silvermoon Farstrider, and you want the Wild Spirit stuff and Halderon. Potentially on turn 2 I just Arcane Quiver. I'd like to be able to hit an Eversong Portal. And then to be able to buff it again with the Silvermoon Farstrider feels like it would be going a long way to helping us get there this particular game. Would actually also be nice to have the other Ricochet shot in hand. You can see here our opponent, it looks like it's just going to be like a standard Outcast DH, which is interesting. And unfortunately, I missed on the Eversong Portal. I have so many spells in this deck. Maybe this deck needs to just be totally reworked. Wild Spirits is probably going to be the best turn 3 play, even though I don't actually benefit from the spell damage. I feel like I'm going to need it to fight against my opponent's board here. Maybe this on 3. Could even just coin out the Terror Coil and then play Wild Spirits on 4, and it'll cast twice. That might actually be the best play here. Our opponent's just going to continue to generate resources, but doesn't really seem like there's anything we can do about it right now. So I am just going to go ahead and coin out the Terror Coil, and then again turn 4 it's just going to be a Wild Spirits, and we'll see if maybe we need to fit in like a Ricochet shot.
My blood boils for war.
And unfortunately our opponent here is playing cards. Why is my opponent trying to win this game? I wonder if they're going to trade for the 4/4. I think if I'm them, I just go face. They still have 2 kept cards, by the way. Yeah, face is the place. You don't ever want to get into making trades in the position that they're in. So we're going to go ahead and Wild Spirits. And I'm really bad at hitting Stag on the Wild Spirits. There's one. So I'm happy to see 2 rushers here. So definitely remove this guy. That's more attack. And then I think I'm just going to take a value trade on this guy right here. And then we'll pass it back. No reason to use the Ricochet shot, but we were able to clean our opponent's side of the board pretty well. Problem is, we're just not making progress on our opponent's health total. We're supposed to be an aggro deck. Outcast Demon Hunter is just, I guess, a better aggro deck. We're having more fun than they are, though. Because we're hipsters playing a hipster class. Our opponent's playing a meta deck on the first day of the new on the first day of the new season. And for that we say boo. Yeah, we're just taking so much damage here. I think we just play the 4/4. We'll be able to buff the Ricochet shot so that it deals 4 damage. That's going to help us be able to clear the board, but we're just getting so low. It's really hard to see how we're going to be able to win this game. Ricochet shot doesn't do anything. I guess we just go wide here. This puts a lot of minions on the board. Maybe our opponent gets confused and makes some trades. They're also 1 health minions. I mean, if they have Unleash Fell, they're just going to kill all of our stuff. And they're going to get a couple of points of healing, but they're almost full health anyway, so that doesn't super matter, I don't think. Next turn we are going to get the weapon. And they still have 2 kept cards. Drawing even more cards. What would they have kept that they haven't played yet? Maybe like the Halveria? So we're going to have Wallopers come down. 5/5s with Rush.
Who's hiding now?
Well, that's not a 5/5. Maybe that's what these are?
Catch me. Anyone order a ghoul to the face?
There's one. Our opponent's actually low on cards, and they still have 2 kept cards. Do they have a second Walloper here, is the other question. Okay. Our opponent's making trades. I like it. Okay. So I definitely need to be able to clear my opponent's side of the board, and I want to draw cards. The question is how many. I think I'm going to commit the Thalnos here. And this will let us draw an additional 3 cards. And I'm going to shoot the 2/2. I'm going to go ahead and probably play the Ricochet shot and hope that I hit 3 minions. If I don't, I'll be able to trade for 1. Yeah, I'm going to Ricochet shot and just get down the Trinket Tracker here. Unfortunately, we do hit face, so I'm going to have to trade this minion. Don't really like that. But then we get to punch our opponent. Second Ricochet shot. We do have spell power options here, so I'm likely going to want to just go ahead and play the Farstrider next turn to go ahead and get the buffs on these guys. And we're actually not in a terrible position. I'm still assuming that we lose this game, but we're going to force our opponent to actually do it. You need to get that beard grown out to be a true hipster. Yeah, keep the beard trimmed up. Maybe I'll grow the beard out to be as long as my hair. Hey Reese, nice to see you. Do you think Aerosmith is too weak to be added to this deck, or is it awkward since you have the Farstriders? Oh wow. They only have 2 cards left though. We'll definitely be able to remove the Sethino, so this should be good for us. But we could be taking a lot of damage here. That's unfortunate. How much damage is this? Oh my gosh. We're at 2. So, we're just going all in here and hope that our opponent doesn't draw any kind of damage whatsoever. We know they have 1 from the hero power. If they draw a worthless minion, that's 10, 12, 16. We're still short on damage. Oh my gosh, they hit card draw. And they hit a weapon. I feel like I got scammed, man. I was assuming we were going to lose, but I feel like I got scammed. So Reese, getting back to what you were saying, I'm not sure about the Aerosmith in that deck. It could be good, but we don't play a whole lot of spells, and it's only 1 damage to, I think it's the lowest health enemy. So I'm not sure exactly how much value you're going to get out of it. But as of right now, I feel like the version that I'm playing, the weapon feels awkward, the Jungle Jammer, so that could be a cut. And then I've also got Azure Drakes in the deck, and I haven't played them a single time. I've only played the deck for 3 games, but already it kind of feels like the weapons could be a cut, as well as the... I already played this guy once. Was this the Unholy Death Knight? I played him just a little while ago. This hand is a full keep as well. We got 1, 2, 3, and then this should be infused on 4. I think this was the Unholy Death Knight I played a little while ago. If it was, they've switched to playing Blood now. People playing Blood Death Knight on the first day of the season. I get that it doesn't matter, but man, the same Blood Death Knight deck has been played since the release of March of the Lich King. It's almost exactly the same deck that it was. And people are still playing exactly the same deck. I don't know. I just don't understand why you would still be playing Blood Death Knight. Switch it up, man. This is awful. They have 3 kept cards. If they have a Blood Boil here, I'm just going to concede. Specifically because, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they changed the interaction with Blood Boil in this weapon. If they Blood Boil, the minion from this weapon gains 1/1 for each tick of the Blood Boil. It used to just be one time, even if it hit a full board of minions. But now, like you're seeing people get like 8/8s and 10/10s off of this weapon just because of playing Blood Boil. And unfortunately here... Yeah, I'm going to take 2 trades just to get this infused. So we're going to do this. And if our opponent has the Blood Boil, that's just going to be really bad news for us. The good news is, whenever they clear our board, we're going to have an infused Refam. I'm assuming there's a Blood Boil and they just get a big lifesteal minion that's going to actually end the game. If they don't have, like, exactly the Blood Boil on this turn, though, we're getting close to being able to kill him. That's going to add another 5 damage. That would put us at 20. 21. 22. This does not look like a Blood Boil. Also, the Corpse Explosion isn't good enough here either. I wonder... I mean, if they swing this, the minion is just too small. I don't even think they can afford to swing the weapon here. They can't discover Vampiric Blood. Feel like we got him on the ropes.
I have but little time.
They play a buff for minions in hand. So they could have the... Let's see, infuse 3. There's no way we're trading 3 times here. They could have like a Gnome Muncher that would have gotten buffed. That would also be a lot of healing, and it would give them a bigger minion off of this.
I wonder if...
Do I ever just buff this guy? They take a trade here. They play the Gnome Muncher. I think I actually buffed the 1/1. I'm gonna tap. If we hit like second location, I think it's actually just lethal. Oh, and that's actually a really good pickup here. So I want to... Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play this guy.
The premiere act. Me.
We'll take our 1 damage. I'm gonna go ahead and get the buff on the 1/1, and then I'm gonna coin out the No Fin Impossible. And that's going to give us a lot of stickiness on the board here. And I actually just missed lethal because I'm a moron. Instead of coining out the No Fin Impossible, I could have played... Oh, no, wait. Never mind. Now I'm a double moron. I thought I was stupid, and then I proved I was stupid. I thought this was actually the Crescendo. If I had Crescendo in hand, it would have done 2 damage. Because it would have been the second fatigue card. So just pretend like you didn't see that. Nothing to see here. And we get the Blood DK, man. Why are people playing Blood DK? We're playing a second-rate aggro deck, and Blood DK just folds up like a house of cards. I feel like I'm making a lot of misplays. We're playing bad decks and still winning. You gotta love that. Plus, the Arcane Hunter is really holding me back. Let's take a look at the list and see if we can make it a little bit better. By the end of the stream, my hair is going to be like... pointing up if I'm not careful. So I want to cut the Jungle Jammers, and we also don't need the Azure Drakes. So Reese, I know you mentioned the Aerosmith. I just don't think there's enough spells. And like with this particular version of the deck, we don't even necessarily want to play these spells in the early game. We're trying to hold on to them until they've been buffed with spell power, like from the Far Striders, the Bright Wing, or we want to have a Silver Moon Arcanist on the board, especially for like the Ricochet shot. So I don't think that this minion is going to help this particular deck. And I think we're already running all of the arcane spells. The other issue is, if I run more spells, it becomes less and less likely that the Arcane Quiver is going to hit like an Eversong Portal. I don't know how important that is. And maybe Eversong Portal is actually a cut as well. but I haven't played the deck enough to know. But I kind of feel like Eversong Portal could actually be bait in this deck. It might be better without it. Ancient Krakenbane to potentially push more damage. I thought about the Krakenbane, but again, the issue is you have to have it in your hand, and you have to play 3 spells. And so I feel like there's going to be a lot of games where it's just not active. We can give it a try. But I know like people have been running the Ancient Krakenbane in the decks that run like the Bananas and the Barrel of Monkeys. So when you run this and there's 3 copies, it's a lot easier to be able to, well, I almost said infuse. I guess it is like infuse, but to be able to activate the Ancient Krakenbane. But maybe we have just enough. I mean, 5 is a lot of damage, especially with an aggro deck looking to go face. I think it's definitely worth a try to be able to see. I thought about including Dog Biscuits, if nothing else, just for the tradable. A lot of times we just don't have minions on the board that we would want to buff. So do you really want to run a card just to trade it? I'm not sure that that's the play. No, never expect it. They just casually take 6. Secrets are never the answer here. Although, I would say, I've thought about actually hard running zombies in a lot of different Hunter decks. I think this is just actually an independently good card. Because you play this, most of the time we're going to have room on our board with this particular deck to be able to summon all 4 of the 1/1s, even if we have to play it in like the mid-game. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm actually just going to put the weapons back in. So I cut the Azure Drakes. We're going to try the Krakenbanes. Maybe Reese is onto something here. Why don't you put that 3 that deals 1 when you play a spell. 3 that deals 1 when you play a spell. Oh, are you talking about the Aerosmith? If you're talking about the Aerosmith, I don't think that's the option that we want. We just don't have enough spells, and we're not playing them consistently enough to really be able to make use of it, at least in my opinion. I could totally be wrong, but that's why we test things. We need more people getting out and testing. Here's what happens. New expansion comes out. People don't like what they see, and they start complaining on social media. You got guys making YouTube videos, you got streamers on Twitch, you got people on Twitter, on Reddit, and are just crying and complaining. And it might just be because they're vocal, but it feels like we have this many people complaining and this many people testing and trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe the complainers are right, but what if they're wrong? What if they're actually just lazy, waiting for somebody else to figure out what to do? That's the way I look at it. And so we test things. The Krakenbanes don't work, maybe we do try the Aerosmith. Or you guys could try the Aerosmith. And I'll also say, too, that I think sometimes, you know, cards can work better against different decks. So if the decks that I'm seeing are totally different than the decks that you guys are seeing, maybe Aerosmith could actually be a really good choice for the meta that you're facing. So that's why you got to get out and test. There's no one size fits all, I personally don't think, because we're all playing against different stuff, no matter what part of the ladder that you're on. Sometimes Blizzard go in way with those streamers. Yeah, sometimes. No Raj in this deck. Raj is a great idea. I considered that, but again, we just don't have... I don't know. Maybe it is good to put the Raj in the deck. I mean, it's a little bit of damage, but I think most of the time it's not going to be a lot of damage. Like, if I just played it right now and then play like a ricochet shot, that doesn't seem all that great. Strangely enough, even though I don't draw cards, I'm considering actually just playing the Conjured Arrow here so that it activates the Terror Coil, and then that potentially gives us like a turn 5 Eversong Portal that at least gives us 2 4/4s. So I think that's what I'm actually going to do. We'll remove the 2/2, protect this 2/2, and activate the Terror Coil. It's also good that we have the weapon here. This is going to be like Overload Shaman. So they're going to be wanting to summon a bunch of rags. And also they can potentially have a lot of healing as well. Unfortunately, that's going to stick on the board. But we will be able to kill it. For example, next turn, if we play the Eversong Portal, we'll have 2 4/4s. We'll be able to clear this up. Hopefully our opponent doesn't draw too many cards here. The good news is they haven't equipped the weapon. They can't play the combo without the weapon. We'll have 2 easy trades. I'm assuming they trade here. So I can actually just play Eversong, Arcane Shot, the 2/2. And then that's going to leave us with a lot of power left on the board. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this first because I want 2 4/4s. And then remove that guy, and everything else goes face. So now you can see here we have 15, 16, we have 18. And our opponent still hasn't done anything especially powerful yet, so I think we're in good shape. This is unfortunate. Losing the power that we have on the board here. They do choose to eat that 4 damage, though. Here's the Kraken Bane, so this is actually definitely going to be active for us. So the Kraken Bane already paying off. I want the Ricochet shot here just because we'll be able to play the Ricochet shot with the Silver Moon Arcanist. So I want to save that for next turn, I think. So I can just Hero Power, push 5, opponent goes to 12. And then next turn, that would be 4, 7. We're 1 mana off from being able to just kill him next turn. But we're going to push the damage while we can here. And then I'm going to pass it back. So next turn, hopefully they don't have too many minions on the board. I'd really like to be able to guarantee that this goes face, both of these. So it could just be like Arcanist, these 2, and Hero Power. Unfortunately, they created a big heal and a 3/3. That's the problem with... yeah, that's just the problem with being able... And this just feels like it's discovered so consistently, this card. I think Shaman must have a really small spell pool. But the Chill Vibes really hurts us here. So I'm just going to buff and Hero Power. So next turn we'll be able to play this entire hand. But it's starting to feel like it's just not going to be good enough. If we would have been able to guarantee this damage hitting our opponent in the face, we would have been in really good shape, I think, even with the heal.
Go with the flow.
They always complain, and when the nerf comes, they complain about the nerf and how Blizzard is bad. Yeah, Mohammed, people are always going to find ways to complain. And I think there's people like content creators who have built their brand on complaining. But as a consumer, because I consume content too, I watch other people's stuff, I watch Twitch streamers and you know, other things. I would never want to like watch or be involved with that because I feel like it would destroy my mental health. Alright, I like my opponent removing their own minions here. And I'm okay with this too. I actually have a second heal. A second created by, so they've healed for 16. I'm just going to keep to the plan here.
Surge within me.
We'll be able to remove our opponent's entire board. Face. Unfortunate. And then I'll go ahead and shoot the 5 here, but just unfortunate. This would have been lethal if our opponent hadn't been able to create 2 of these Chill Vibes. But the Kraken Bane, at least in this particular game, has been okay. What do they do here? They have to trade for the 2/2? They can't actually play the Colossal, if that's what they choose, and I'm assuming that's what they took. They get the healing there. I think it's just a conceit at this point. At least this is something they actually put in their deck. We lost to Created by Healing, I think. I guess I'll stay in for one more turn and see what happens. And I'm just going to put down the Thalnos. I think I'd rather cycle this and get another card out of our deck. We need to hit the second copy of Conjured Arrow to have any chance of winning. We're just never going to have lethal next turn. Pretty sure we lost. Okay. That's all I need to see.
Masterful. I can see it.
Unfortunate game. It's always really frustrating when you lose because of your opponent creating cards. The deck that I've hated the most throughout the history of Hearthstone was Baron's Priest because of all the created cards that they had. I just really didn't enjoy that, and it always feels bad. Like, for example, you're playing an aggro deck and your opponent just creates healing. It's like Hearthstone gives them the game. Who's feeling me on that one? You could put the Spine that gives poisonous. That's true, you could run maybe just one copy of like the, I think it's called Urchin Spines. Against a Druid. We're definitely keeping the Refam. We want to infuse the Refam and the Fiendish Circle. We might even be able to coin an infused Refam on turn 5, which would be insane. So we've got 3, 4, and then 5.
Nature speaks through my tunes.
Flame Imp is a good top deck. Lots of versions of Druid going around, too. Our opponent has a favorable draw here. Unfortunately, we just can't do anything. So I'm going to tap. And this just dies to the hero power, but surely they don't actually hero power and swing into it. Question is, do I go face? Do I take a value trade? Do I trade like this? I mean, they likely make this trade for us.
Taking so long.
I'm going to take a value trade here. So potentially we have this on 3, and maybe we want to play like these two guys on 4. Our opponent has everything. Our opponent has everything. It's fine. I think we're still okay here. Yeah, I think we still just play this, and then we're going to coin the Refam. The Refam's going to be infused, I'm pretty sure. And likely just ends the game on the spot. Hey, Will. Nice to see you. Bro created 24 health in 3 turns. You gotta love it. Mill a Death Rattle, Tony, Hero Power with Jailer. Yeah, they got quite a bit of stuff. They're also punching me in the face. We need 3 more minions to die. I mean, we just make the strongest possible play, right? Which is this guy.
What is taking so long?
The overture is upon us.
And then I am just going to go ahead and take a trade now on that. And these go face. So hopefully we can at least kill off the 1/1s and then play the Refam. We are going to be able to kill off the 1/1s and play the Refam, so this is great. We're just eating a lot of damage. Good news is here, though, we are going to have a Voidwalker that we can potentially put in the way. Sad to see our board being cleared. And hopefully we're not just totally dead. I don't think they can actually kill us here, though. And we're going to push face. So the issue here is, with a full board, we actually can't play the Voidwalker. We also can't kill our opponent. I should have traded that 1/1 to be able to leave one spot on the board to be able to hit like a location, which we would have had a really high chance of being able to draw with the impending catastrophe. I think we're actually just dead here. We died at hero power,
Getting any younger.
and we have no healing in the deck. Except for the Darkon, but we don't have the mana. And especially not if we spend mana to draw. So this was a misplay. I board locked myself. I needed to be able to get the Void Walker down, and even then, like, we would be dead to second Rake. Let's go ahead and draw here, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing.
My hand is full.
Yeah, we only have 30. Maybe our opponent actually gets confused and doesn't kill us here. So yeah, this was a misplay. It doesn't guarantee that we win, but I should have traded that other 1/1. I wasn't even thinking about board space and, you know, how much health we had. I was just so tunnel vision on playing the Refam that I didn't think the turn through and think about what position it was going to leave us in with our opponent being able to do so much damage. So a bit unfortunate there. That loss definitely goes on me more so than the deck. We'll get back over to the Arcane Hunter. There's also the very rare Drum Circle Druid, which is an interesting deck. Because the early game is weak, so you have to play the weapon on 4, the tambourine, and then you play the, what is it, the Flowering Sunchild, I think it's called, the 5-drop that draws 2 cards. Finale discount. So you have a weak turn 4 into a weak turn 5, and then you win the game on turn 6 if you're not dead. The problem is a lot of times you're actually just dead.
Before Death's Keeper.
I'm gonna toss all this. Another Death Knight. And it's actually a Blood Death Knight. Feels like a bad matchup. Did you plan to stream on Twitch? I haven't streamed on Twitch in a really long time. I do have a... Oh. I think it's still just the tempo here. I do have a channel on Twitch, but I haven't streamed there in a really long time. I guess I could give it a try. There's not really anything that prevents me from doing it. I've just kind of consolidated everything I do onto YouTube. Never weapon, man. Of any matchup that I would want to actually hit the weapon, it would be this matchup too, because of the healing and health that our opponent is able to generate. I'm going to lose to somebody that's actually playing this card in their deck on purpose, too. That's even more painful. Fizzle is just not a good card. That's a nice pickup, though. I think I want to try to set something up. I'm going to School Teacher here. Valuing the 4/4 on the board. And I'm going to take the Shell Shot, just because it ends up being quite a bit of damage for so cheap. But I think I want to Arcane Quiver and hopefully hit like an Eversong Portal, but then I'll be able to play the Halderon to buff it.
Pick me!
Dark Transformation.
Finds new strength in freedom's shade.
So that's pretty unfortunate. This could be a good pickup for us, though. I'm going to go ahead and Arcane Quiver, and I'm going to take this Eversong Portal. I like that. And then the question is, do I want a Shell Shot? Or would I rather just Wild Spirits? I really don't want to play these guys. I want to buff them, and I want to be able to use them to kill our opponent by going face. I'm just going to play the Wild Spirits here. And I've been pretty good at hitting the Rusher. And unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to take the trade here. I really want to go face, but this just works a little bit better. I've struggled going against Death Rattle Druid recently. I haven't seen a whole lot of Death Rattle Druid, Reese. And I think Druid is one of, if not the strongest deck, at least is what other people are saying. Is Arcane Shot even worth it? Bananas sounds better. A lot of times we just don't have minions on the board to be able to play the bananas. I feel like that the bananas deck is just a different deck. There is a good, well, probably the better Face Hunter version has already been figured out. And it runs like the bananas, the barrel of monkeys, and things like that. Pretty similar to the deck that I was playing on day one of the expansion. But I think it's been refined a little bit more. Alright, I want to do this. I'm going to Shell Shot just to remove these minions, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and get the Halderon down. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have... I mean, yeah, hopefully they don't have like a corpse explosion here. We're going to need to get some damage off of our minions on the board to have any chance of being able to win this matchup. You see the Null Muncher come down. Arcanist is actually a good pickup for us here. I think I just go in while I can. We'll shoot the 5 here. We'll put the 6. Now we can't actually aim face, so I feel like that card does it to me every single time. I always play this and then same turn try to aim face. Assuming the board gets cleared. We're also coming into the turn, like turn 8, where they're going to have Soul Stealer, in which case, like, I'm going to play a decent Eversong Portal, and it's just going to get cleared anyway, but we're never going to be able to play around it. We're likely not winning anyway. If we try to play around their removal, we're definitely not winning. We just have to hope they don't draw it because they're playing a 40-card deck. My Arcane Hunter ran Aerosmith and Raj. Didn't feel as bad fighting for board that way and helped keep pushing damage face. What was that? Oh, that was a created by Heartstrike. Once again being decimated by created by. That's a nice pickup. We're going to draw some cards here. I think I want to hold the Eversong Portal. I will go ahead and play this because it's going to buff our spells. And I think I want to hold the Terror Coil as well. I want this active. So I'm just going to Hero Power and push all damage face. I'm basically trying to bait out removal from our opponent and then try to reload the board with the Eversong Portal. And hope that they don't have like a second big removal. We see the Soul Stealer come down here. So again, I'm just hoping that they don't have a second big removal. Trinket Tracker will draw second Ricochet Shot. I think I want the second Ricochet Shot. Play it now and save the one that has more spell damage. Then I'm just going to Hero Power. And we'll make that trade. And then we'll pass it back. So again, hopefully our opponent just doesn't have a way to be able to remove this. Blood Boil is really bad. Blood Boil also affects this weapon differently now. They just get a huge lifesteal minion. Created by Corpse Explosion, man. Ugh. I'm just getting run over by created by stuff today. There's the Kraken Bane. I don't even have enough spells. I guess I do... I play the Ricochet twice so that the minion dies.
Who to shoot?
I got 2 shots just for you.
Just gonna go ahead and spin mana while I can. And then hero power. One more spell to activate this, so potentially... we don't even have a whole lot of spells left in the deck, so this is the problem with running the Ancient Krakenbanes in this deck. By the time we draw it, we've already played most of the spells in the deck. And I think I actually just concede here. Like, we have no way of realistically being able to win the game at this point. So I'm going to get out of the game. Arcane Hunter really not looking like a good deck, at least not this particular version. Unfortunate. Aerosmith sounds great in this. Yeah, Aerosmith could be worth running here. I think somebody made like a 40 card version of this deck. I kind of struggle to understand why you would want to play 40 cards though. Like the extra 5 health and you have to jam 10 extra bad cards into your deck. I'm just not sure it's worth it for a deck like this. But again, I could be totally wrong. That deck is out there somewhere. I can't remember who made it though. 40 cards, but they were playing weird stuff. They had like a deadly shot in it and just other kind of weird stuff.
In the end.
Arise, my faithless.
Another Demon Hunter. I'm going to keep one Imp and we're going to keep the Fiendish Circle. Hopefully we can hit a location here. Missed the location, but second Fiendish Circle. Opponent full kept their hand. Hearthstone doing me in. If my opponents aren't creating exactly what they need, they just keep it in their opening hand. I think I probably want to use the coin here. It's always a tough decision. I don't want a hero power pass. I don't just want to play the tour guide and hero power, so I think, I mean, it's going to depend on the top deck, but I may actually just want to coin out like the Imp Gang boss. And maybe even just the Fiendish Circle. This changes things, though. That totally changes our play with that top deck. So we're going to do this. Next turn we've got Fiendish Circle, and this gets really big, assuming it's still on the board. 40 cards sounds bad, but maybe Dragonbane and some Monkey. Hey, Virtual World, nice to see you. I play Big Beast Hunter with Lorthamar and a lot of Naga and spells early game and have a 70% win rate so far. You know, I had actually thought about... We got a good play here, too. Hopefully this is enough to be able to protect our 5-3. I actually thought about trying to build a Big Beast Hunter before I started the stream and just didn't get around to it. I want to check it out though. Are you playing the, what is it, Stranglethorn Heart? The big card that got changed to 8 mana? I kind of felt like even at 10 mana you could potentially put it in your deck just because it's tradable. And then they reduced the mana cost by 2. Created by the way. Again, my opponent just doing me in with this created stuff. We're also coming to a point where it's going to be really bad to have this many minions on the board. But again, I feel like we can't really afford to play around like the turn 6 spell power Unleash Fel. This is just kind of what our deck is. It's based on the board. We have to have minions on the board to be able to kill our opponents, so I'm just going to have to play into it and hope they don't have it. Because otherwise we just never win anyway because we're not pressuring our opponents and then we just give them too much time to do their thing. Baritone Imps. Location? Virtuoso. They have one kept card. I mean, if they have it, they heal back to full. going to do this, and I'm just going to hold the Virtuoso, I think. We'll push the damage that we can while we can. And this actually sets up lethal, assuming they don't have the Unleash Fel. If they just Unleash Fel without spell power, it's not as bad. We have a lot left on the board. But if they have the spell power... They've only drawn 9 cards, by the way. Immolation Aura, so they remove our stuff, but at least they don't heal, so that's good news for us. So I guess that means this is Big Demon Hunter. Gonna get down the Virtuoso. And then I want a Tour Guide and tap for free. And just make the biggest board that we can here. So again, we're presenting lethal. Our opponent, it felt like they struggled a little bit. They're playing off the top of their deck, too. It's not enough, right? We just won. I mean, they did punch us in the face for 9, though. Gotta respect that. Big Hunter, a bit slow. I think mid-range is more consistent. Yeah, I've thought a lot about Big Beast Hunter, and the problem that you run into was that Pet Collector rotated. And so now you have a Shar and Saber, which is, I guess, significantly worse, because you don't necessarily have a good way to be able to get it off the bottom. You still have the Harpoon Gun, so I guess you could play a Shar and Saber and then dredge it with the Harpoon Gun, or the Sunken Saber, but... you know, having 2 less cards in your deck to be able to dig for the bottom, you know, just kind of really hurts the consistency in the deck. And even if you miss the Ashar and Saber, like the Rat King also rotated, it kind of felt like Big Beast Hunter hit its power spike right around turns 4 and 5. And then, you know, then those cards actually rotated or got worse because of rotation. Opponent minus $25, by the way. They got the $25 DK portrait. We're playing against a baller. I like having Rafam in hands. Hopefully we get some more minions to be able to get this infused by turn 6. And I guess, I don't know, I feel like I see Blood Death Knight more than any of the other Death Knights, but we faced Unholy once already today, and I actually haven't seen Frost yet. Paladins is really OP in this new meta. Yeah, there's a couple of good aggressive Paladin decks, I guess. There's just like aggro pure Paladin, and then also mech Paladin, which is probably still a pure Paladin deck, just that like it plays mechs rather than some of the other stuff. I've always, for the most part, I've found Paladin boring, though, throughout history in Hearthstone. It's another Blood Death Knight, man. I just don't understand why people play this deck on day 1 of a new season. Like, I mean, are you just sitting there like, man, when I get home from work, I'm going to play some Blood Death Knight on the first day? It just doesn't make sense. The games take forever. You're playing like 10, 15-minute games in some cases. You get home from work tired. You play for an hour and you've played 2 games, and then you go to bed. Blood DK is worse than Frost, but in my opinion, Blood just feels so bad to play against.
Time is against me.
I don't know. I don't necessarily mind playing against anything. Man, this is a bad opening hand, too. That makes it a little bit better. We're just going to get on the board here. Again, I mean, we can't really play around their removal. We know they have Corpse Explosion. We know they have Blood Boil, Soul Stealer. But with this specific deck, we just don't win if we don't get on the board. And we actually just don't even really have a play. Like, I'm not even sure this is a real play. Is it better than tapping? I think we still tap here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, this isn't even going to be infused, man. This draw is so bad. Like this, not infused. Rafam's not going to be infused on time. Our opponent is actually playing minions. They can swing here, and they're going to have a 3/3 with lifesteal. I'm just having to make like the worst possible turn every single turn. I mean, I still have to play it, I guess. At least if everything on the board dies, the Rafam is going to be infused. And we've also put 2 3/3s into the Rafam imps that can be resurrected, which could be good. But we're actually just behind on board against what's supposed to be a control deck. This is not the kind of game that you actually win. And I think I'm tempted to draw cards here, but I wonder if it's better to just play like the Imp Gang boss and the No Fins Impossible.
I'm not getting any younger.
Take a couple of value trades. And then the following turn we'll have an infused Rafam. I think I like this. They trade here, here. Maybe I remove the healing.
You're fuming.
Alright. The good news is they don't have a whole lot of corpses, so maybe the Rafam can get around them. For me, Hunter has always been the most fun to play. I'm kind of with you on that, Virtual. It's I have more wins on Hunter than I do on any other class. But I feel like if somebody asked me what my favorite class is, I would never say Hunter, so it's just kind of weird, to be honest. Alright, we've got the infused.
Pick me, pick me.
Yeah, this is good. So we have enough space on the board to be able to play this, and we're going to get the full board. But our opponent, the Corpse Explosion is going to be relevant. If they have it, they can trade some of their minions and then play the Corpse Explosion, but again, we just kind of have to go in.
Finally! Minions that obey me!
And then the question is, are we making any trades? And I guess the answer is no. We just go face and hope that our opponent doesn't have removal. They'll be able to trade everything and clear the board. The only thing that we lose to is exactly Corpse Explosion. 40 card deck, they've only drawn 9 cards. It's got to be exactly Corpse Explosion. But if they have it, we lose on the spot. Like, we can't even draw a lot of cards off the Impending Catastrophe. I think we just have to go face here. Or how much damage is this? Let's see, 8, 13, 19, 22, 26, 31. I mean, they have to make the trades anyway for the Corpse Explosion, so I guess it'd be stupid to, it'd be stupid for us to trade. So we'll find out what they have here. Corpse Explosion is also their entire turn. Oh, they're making trades. They've set up a Blood Boil. Okay, so they heal for 14. And Body Bagger. It's going to leave us a lot of imps on the board to be able to draw, so it's bad, but it could be worse. Let's see, these are all imps, right? Yeah, this draws us a lot of cards. We hit a location, so I think I want to get down the location. I can go Virtuoso. I'm going to go Virtuoso. I'm going to go ahead and get down the location. And then I'm going to get down this Imp as well, just so that I don't take that fatigue damage. And we're going to start working on getting the crescendos up to potentially be able to get some finishing power on our opponent. And I want to buff... I think I want to buff this guy. Let's see, they can trade here, then he does. Yep, I'm going to buff him. And... actually going to make this trade. Try to make it a little bit harder. Maybe we can get one more turn of being able to punch for 5 out of this guy. So again, Corpse Explosion is really good for him. And then if they make it to turn 8, Soul Stealer is what we're worried about. So we kind of need to kill him. But we'll be able to have... I mean, on turn 8, we can play this and then these two. So we have 7 from hand. They're going to heal for 4. Ooh, second Blood Boil, man. They've drawn 11 cards and they hit both Blood Boils to heal back to 28. You hate to see it. I'm going to draw some more cards here. Again, just try to buff our crescendos. I'm going to keep going wide. We just have to hope that they don't have the Soul Stealer. 1, 2, 3. We're going to draw 4, which is fine. That's also some burst, which is nice. And I guess I just want to go ahead and play like the Voidwalker, just in case they're not able to remove the board. Having that extra body could be good. Or maybe it's actually just the Flustered Librarian instead of the Voidwalker. And then we're going to push face here. Location will be back online. We've got plenty of imps. They do have the Soul Stealer. Man, our opponent, they actually have everything, man. How do you draw 12 cards in a 40-card deck and have everything? It just doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to anybody else? Alright. I'm just going to keep pushing. We're going to continue to reload the board here. And again, buffing these guys. So now we have 9 from hand with the crescendos. And I can actually just tap here. Yep. Then we'll do this. And I'm going to buff the Virtuoso. I guess I'm going to go ahead and play out the Voidwalker. Maybe we can protect the 5/5. Thing with DK is that they always have something to clear the board. It's just unrealistic. It's a 40-card deck. Like, where's the drawback of 40 cards? You draw both Blood Boils, Corpse Explosion, Soul Stealer, created second Blood Boil to close out the game. We do have a lot of damage from hand, though, potentially. Really wasn't expecting to see Starfish, created by ETC. It's good for us, though, that that was their play. So they're going to remove as much as they can. I'd like to hit the second location here. Thank you. Does one big minion ever get there? Probably want to spread it out to try to hit like 2 big minions. This only adds 3/3 with the current state of the board, though. I kind of want to get the Darkon down this turn, is the issue. Maybe actually just play one of these. Clears their side of the board, and then it allows us to play the Darkon, and then maybe we can get there next turn by buffing something that's left on the board with the location. I mean, it allows us to push 10. and potentially protects our board. Opponents at 9, we have 5 from hand. We just need something to survive so that we can buff it with the location. Alright, this is not a soul stealer. We just need no corpse explosion. Discover an answer right here. Come on, Will. Dark transformation, not really an answer. Another blood boil created by... Actually crazy, man. Third blood boil, by the way. Alright, we're just gonna keep on keeping on with what we're doing.
What is taking so long?
So I'm gonna do this. Gonna get down the location. We're gonna take a trade. That's just gonna heal up anyway. And then that will allow me to drop this guy. I'm going to buff the big boy, and then I might as well just go ahead and play this crescendo to try to protect as much as I can. So again, we have our opponent on the ropes. Hey Taylor, YouTube keeps unsubbing me for whatever reason, but happy finally to catch a stream. YouTube is unsubbing you. Come on, Taylor. You're killing me. It's okay. YouTube is unsubbing me. It's a massive conspiracy against me. I think you made it just in time, though. This game has been a struggle, but it looks like we actually got there against these Blood DK donkeys, man. How can they play this deck? Like, the deck isn't even good. Is it even a 50% deck?
It is time to end this.
I'm not even sure that this is a 50% win rate deck. We're just out here trying to make people miserable. On the first day of the season, by the way. Absolutely killing me. Taylor, I'm glad you could make it, though. Maybe I should submit a ticket to YouTube and say, hey, people are being unsubbed unwillingly. Illuminati is out here crushing me. I'm actually going to sneak away just for a quick minute. I'm going to hit the restroom and make a fresh cup of coffee. I'm going to see if we can spectate somebody here. And just to maybe keep you guys entertained. And unfortunately, my friends list is a little bit thin of people playing at the moment. So I'm going to get in a quick spectate. I'm going to run to the restroom. I will be right back. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in about 2 minutes.
What shall I do?
Gifts of the arcane surge within me.
Oof, man. Playing Miracle Rogue, that's just a little bit unfortunate. Let's So we're going to get out of this. We're going to hop back in. I guess I'm just going to keep on jamming the Imp Warlock. The surprising thing is, like, for as much crying as I did about, like, my opponent creating blood boils and stuff, this deck has a lot of reload. I was able to put out just board after board and finally get there against a control deck. I'm all over the DK decks. Yeah, DK is just so popular. Get tired of seeing it. Hey, Macy. Unfortunately, I think I may have pronounced your name wrong. If I did, let me know in the chat, and I will give it another try. Same as Shadow or Control Priest. Yep. Shadow Priest, at least fun to play and has some cool interactions. I do like Shadow Priest. That's a deck that I definitely enjoy. I'm not keeping the Gang Boss or this. The Baritone Imp is interesting. You play it, it's a 2-mana 3/3. I think I'm going to keep it. I don't know if this is a keep or not, to be honest, but we might as well give it a try. Blood DK is just monkey. Me Blood DK, me remove all things. Yeah. Hey, Raka. Hey, Control, but I play Control Priest just to counter Blood DK. Yeah, there you go. That's the thing. When you start playing Control Priest, you're actually just griefing the ladder. So I can go this on one. I can even consider, like, coining out the Void Virtuoso next turn just to not take that 1 damage. I don't know if that's correct or not, but then it would allow us to be able to go, like, Tour Guy at Hero Power and still have 2 mana on turn 3. Maybe we invest the coin early this game. Discover I-Beam? Spectral Sight, okay. Crushed so many Shadow Priests on the first day of the new season. I don't know why they play them. They were weak. Yeah, I had a bad experience with Shadow Priest. I wasn't able to win all that much. Too much Reborn Gnarly. Blood DK, not even good. I agree 100%, Mauricio. Blood DK, I'm not even sure if it's winning 50% of the games. It's just, again, just people griefing the ladder. I'm going to get out the Virtuoso, and I'm going to save the coin and just play the Flame Imp here. It's almost identical to playing the Baritone Imp, it just has 1 less health. Hopefully that's not going to be super relevant. And it actually saves us a little bit of face damage by playing the Flame Imp with this on the board versus the Imp. Immolation Aura plus a Hero Power. I actually choose to kill the Virtuoso, which is interesting. Just going to continue to play my hand here. Unfortunately, I'm kind of running out of cards. This may have been a turn that, when we look back at it, I may have actually should have just tapped and gone, like, tap Voidwalker. But we'll be able to fit in a tap with the Tour Guide for only 1 mana next turn, and we do still have the coin. I think our opponent just drew Lady Sethino. Plus, they have a lot of cards in hand. Ooh, really happy to see the Imp King Rafam here. That is very, very good for us. Being able to infuse this, and, you know, some of our Imps are a little bit bigger, that's going to be great. Oh, it's actually Big Demon Hunter. It's like the only Demon Hunter deck people are playing is the big boys. So this drew the 6 mana card they're going to want to play next turn. That's going to pull a minion out of their deck. So I think I just want to commit everything to the board here. I'm going to play this even though it's not infused. And it spends mana. Seems to definitely be the way that we want to go here. I'm just going to keep pushing the face damage. So we just hope that they don't hit the 9/9 with Taunt. And we should be in a really good spot here. Frost is the real OP. Frost is just frustrating. Oh, they actually had the Unleash Fell and healed back to full, man. Ah, that's unfortunate. Couldn't really play around it, though. And, we can't remove this, but we may still not actually lose. We'll have to see if they can answer this Rafam board. But the fact that this sticks on the board is just really bad for us. Feels like we're losing this game.
Gifts of the arcane surge within me.
1 mana 2/2 weapon and Frost is busted. It's definitely a good card. Oh my gosh. Both Arcanists, both Unleash Fells. I guess you don't beat draws like that.
Last of me.
I feel like I'm being farmed by Hearthstone itself. Hearthstone is just like handing me losses. I played Shadow Priest of Legend last month, thinking about messing around with Totem Shaman this month. Yeah, Totem Shaman is a good deck. It's also, I found Totem Shaman to be enjoyable. I enjoy Totem Shaman more than the current version of Shadow Priest. Even my own Renathal mid-hunter with Hope of Quel'th the Loss and Snapdragon's Lorthamar defeated Frost DK. Yeah, Frost, I find Frost just to be frustrating to play against, because it's always like, oh man, it's almost turn 7, they're going to freeze my board. I've never enjoyed the board freeze mechanics. It was the same with Shaman before they nerfed the Elemental that froze the board and then buffed based on how many minions were frozen. When everything in your deck grows around +4/+4 or more, your opponent might have a big problem. Yeah, that's true. Spell DH looks kind of spicy right now too. I might check it out. Yeah, Spell DH is definitely a good deck. What we just played against was actually Big Demon Hunter. We just didn't see the payoffs. But it just ends up being a lot of big demons if they get that far in their game plan. We were just never going to win, so I had to concede. I sense another Blood DK. I mean, that's bad, but it's not horrible for us. I mean, at least we have a minion on the board that can attack right away. And now we have a big boy. So it could have been worse. Top deck second location to punish our donkey opponent for playing a Dirty Rat. And they don't even have the Asphyxiate to follow it up. Just going all face here. Hoping our opponent doesn't have the removals. Totem Shaman has even more reloads in this deck. It's tons of fun. Yeah, you might actually be right about that. That strike a little bit unfortunate there. No Fin is actually a really good top deck. I think I want to tap here. Tap, Librarian, and No Fin.
These books are ruined.
Let's see. It's going to add 4/4. So a 5/5 trade here. It still dies to Blood Boil. Man, I want to trade for this because I'd like to try to keep the Librarian alive. I just don't like what I have to do to make that happen. But I do think this is a play that kind of needs to happen. I also need to draw some cards. We really need like a Refam to be able to get infused while we still have a lot of minions on the board. Wouldn't mind drawing like an Impending Catastrophe either. Freezing is an OP mechanic, especially with more of the game is affected by power creep. Taylor, I would also say like Freeze in Mage. I've never really liked Freeze in Mage. I was glad to see Flurry rotate, but even things like... I definitely want to tap here. I don't think there's anything... Yeah, I don't have to play the Tour Guide. I can just tap here. Virtuoso. I mean, I could double Crescendo. It clears the board. It pushes 3. We hit our opponent for 14. If they couldn't clear the board this turn, then it's potentially they can't clear it next turn. They could just have a... Gnome Muncher would be the issue. I don't want to leave these on the board. I also don't want to use both Crescendos. But I feel like this is going to give us the best possible chance to be able to win. We're just going to push the damage and hope that our opponent doesn't have a way to be able to remove stuff from the board. But yeah, like Mage, Solid Alibi, I really don't like that card. I think it's just unfun and problematic. Especially in DH, great idea for AoE spell that strikes all enemies, yeah. I think Dirty Rat is a bad card. Dirty Rat should probably not be played in most of these decks. That's a Blood Boil. We do still have a board, though. Yeah, I'm gonna tap first. Baritone Imp. So again, I mean, I feel like I'm just wanting to go wide here. And hoping that our opponent doesn't have, like, something else along those lines. And again, we're coming up to turn 8 Soul Stealer. I don't really have a choice, I just have to play out onto the board here. Wish they removed Rat, another ugly card. Blood Decays, just play so cocky like they feel nothing bad can happen without using the Rat. Yeah, they can... Imagine if they're playing... Like, what if they would have pulled this card onto the board? And they wouldn't have been able to deal with it. So we're just hitting them for 12, like, almost every turn. This is unfortunate. I can't play this because the board is full. I would really like to not float 8 mana. But I don't have a choice. And they can play Soul Stealer here. Which makes... I can play this, but then it just dies to Soul Stealer hero power. Solid Alibi definition of unfun. I'll agree with that. I'm gonna tap here. I'd really like to hit an Impending Catastrophe. That's actually... Man, that's a lot of imps. This is just a wide board. I think I just want to go wide here. Probably should have played the Virtuoso first. A little bit of a misplay there, I think. On my part. I'm going to play the location, and I'm actually going to hold the charge. I'm going to wait and see if they actually have a Soul Stealer or a way to remove the board. If they do, then I can just go, like, Fiendish Circle. And still make use of the location. If they can't clear the board, then it's not going to make a difference. Mage using Alibi, me untouchable, no problems to me this turn. Yeah, the only thing that gets around Solid Alibi is, like, I think, Abyssal Curse damage. Gets around Solid Alibi, and, of course, Astalor. I have to heal my opponent again here, which is unfortunate. But again, no way around it. And I want to tap. We don't really have to worry about dying, I don't think. I'm going to get down the Darkon. That is going to get us a little bit of healing. And then I want to buff. I'm going to buff one of these imps over this way. And... I'll just go ahead and set this up. All damage going face. So again, our opponents, I mean, pretty much it's Soul Stealer or bust. I mean, they don't have corpses. Blood Boil isn't doing a whole lot. And they give this rush, so they're going to heal for 10. Boom, boom. It's going to hit here. They go to 25. Oh, and they actually kill this. Yeah, I think we're losing this game. What was... Oh, Created By. I lose to Created By again, it feels like. Maybe not. We're reloading. We hit the Imp King Reform, so there will be another board after this one. That's going to be infused, which is going to be good. And I guess I just go ahead and use my free tap here. Not worried about my health total. And then we can go ahead and no fin as well. And then again, I'm just going to push the damage face. So they have to clear this board. And then we're going to have all these 2/2s left. We have a Refam that could potentially buff those 2/2s. I think we're okay. They're trying to discover again. DK, best discover pool in the game. I'll drink a little coffee to calm my nerves. Played against a DK today with Big Beast Hunter. He used Dirty Rat, and I got King Crush, and he immediately left the game. Shame concede.
Our gift of frost shields us.
They play an Obliterate.
Be merciful.
Alright. I guess I want to put Imps on the board, buff these, and just keep pushing the damage face. Our opponent's going to have to play defensively here. So I'm going to go Gang Boss, and then I guess I'm just going to get down the Taunt. Just in case. And then we can buff here. And then I'll go ahead and put the Librarian in play. And then again, all damage is just going face. I'm trying to force our opponent to make defensive plays every turn. Only 2 cards left in the deck, no reason to tap. We just take damage for no reason. We're still going to have 4 2/2s. 2 more minions die. And we've got a almost like a Bloodlust effect. Soul Stealer may actually not even be good enough here. Or they would have to have both Soul Stealers. They're low on corpses, so Corpse Explosion largely irrelevant at this point. Had better giggles when 1DK cleared buffed Hydrolodon with Corpse Explosion. Man, I played a game one time, it was Big Beast Hunter. Oh, they had 4 corpses, so I think that does actually clear here. The thing is, they're using all their corpses, so again, it comes down to Soul Stealer, and it's pretty likely that they have one. But at this point, I mean, we don't have an option. We just have to play the Refam. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and get the board like this. If they're able to clear this, we are going to have 1 more board. But yeah, they pretty much have to have the Soul Stealer, I think, at this point. I'm assuming they have at least 1. They've drawn almost half their deck, so it would make sense. Yeah, playing Big Beast Hunter one time, I had like a 45 damage, maybe even more than that, Denathrius, because... No, I played against... Why do they have a Blood Boil inside their ETC instead of playing 2 Blood Boils in their deck? That doesn't make sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. I think I want to free up 2 minions here to be able to get this down. At the expense of a little bit of damage. They're largely just going to heal from that stuff anyway. Why would you not run 2 copies of Blood Boil? You put 1 in ETC. The deck is better if you cut ETC and just run 2nd Blood Boil. But anyway, I think I might have been playing Druid, but I had Denathrius. My opponent played Hydrolodon, and I played the spammy Arcanist. Created by, again. And just like super infused the Denathrius. Played the Denathrius on turn 10, and it was just an immediate win. So much damage. Daddy D works kind of nice versus Blood DK. Don't question choices of morons playing Blood DK. That's really questionable. Let's see, they're going to heal for quite a bit here, though. And we're not going to have much left on the board. They're just creating just enough. We're going to take 7. I actually have to trade for this because we're going to die if I don't. We're going to take 7 so I can play one of these. But I would die to hero power, so I can't even do that. Yeah, we lost. We lost. I can't kill him in 2 turns.
You haven't heard the last of
Unbelievable, man. Blood Boil and ETC. Blood Boil tech card, I know, right? They don't know what is best, and all too greedy. Yep. That just sounds like a horrible idea. I think I would rather have 2 Blood Boils and only 1 Corpse Explosion. Because look at how corpse-starved they were that game.
Stormwind will tremble before Tamsin Rome.
Another Death Knight. At this point, I'm likely just like slamming my head into the wall playing a second-rate aggro deck into Blood Death Knights. Like using Fizzle in this kind of deck. Yeah, Fizzle is really bad in this kind of deck. I think Fizzle is bad in every deck. It's just way too slow. It's awkward. I mean, the only time you would ever need Fizzle is if you were in like the ultimate Control Priest mirror meta. It's unfortunate. Could be Frost, could be Unholy. I'm pretty sure we just lose to Frost. We get to turn 7 and they freeze our board, and we can't do anything about it. It is Frost. And again, like, Hearthstone is trolling me. Like, I needed these last game earlier to draw cards. That's a good top deck, at least. But I needed these last game. They were both, like, really deep in the deck, and now I have both of them when I would rather be doing literally... Oh my gosh, dude. Literally anything else. Created by Froststrike. Just gonna draw 2. And then I'm gonna draw again here. Next turn, maybe I just play like the gang boss and draw again with this one. The creative buys have really been giving me a hard time today. Here's that Warlock deck. What's his name? Discard your cards and summon taunts with 11/11. Oh yeah. They call it Chadius Warlock, but it's the Thaddeus Warlock. It's kind of like a draw order deck, though. I personally don't like it that much, just because I always draw the cards in the wrong order, to be honest. Do I want to draw 3? Or I could play this and buff. I probably need to keep the hammer down as much as possible. Give all friendly demons and murlocs.
I'm not getting any younger.
Just take the 3 2/2s. This is an interesting turn. If I play this, I float a mana, but it gives me the best board. And an extra buff on this guy. I think this is the play. And I'm hoping to be able to keep this big boy imp alive here. Hey Andy, why not try Totem Shaman? Hit Legend last month with a version with Shadow Suffusion. Good against Blood Decay because it cancels out the healing they get from Blood Boil. It's actually not that bad. Oh, this is bad. And then they take the trade here. Oh, man. Again, it's just awkward, man. Every single turn has been so awkward. I'm just going to see my way out of this game. We're not going to get there. We're getting close to turn 7. They're going to start freezing the board. I actually like the idea of Totem Shaman. We're still going to stay with the aggro theme, but we're going to switch it up a little bit. Although this Imp Warlock isn't necessarily bad. Had a couple of bad matchups, but overall I think we had a winning record with the deck. So at least it's something for the Warlock fans to be able to enjoy. You know, not a great deck. Probably at best tier 2 and maybe just a tier 3 deck. And could maybe even be refined a little bit more. I'm not sure, but Warlock is just kind of suffering. Why are there famished fools in this list? Man, I changed deck trackers. You don't need famished fools in this list, I don't think. I got the deck from a reputable source. Just gonna jam it and we'll see what happens. Let's see, Awkward defines pretty much all of the Warlock decks. Yeah, they're just not very strong, which is unfortunate because I like Warlock as a class. You would think any class that has as much card draw as Warlock has would be good, and it's just not true. They don't have anything to draw into. Hey, Light Ruler, you don't like Weapon Rogue? I actually haven't tried that Weapon Rogue. I saw some other people playing it, but haven't tried it.
And still you annoy me.
I don't think you keep Totemic Evidence in this deck. I don't think you keep Schooling either. Because the problem is if you keep this, it's infused with 3 totems. And I feel like there's other stuff I would rather get just to be able to start and maybe draw this a little bit later. I guess I'll keep it and we'll see how it feels. Hot take, but I also think Famished Fool is a bad card. Yeah, I'm not sure about Famished Fools in this. They should be easy to infuse. But I'm not sure. Up against Shadow Priest.
Keep your thoughts to yourself.
Carving Chisel is a nice pickup. I'm going to hold the hero power. We're going to be equipping the weapon next turn anyway. And in the case that I hit an anchored totem at some point, I'm going to want the free hero power. Oh, I'm not sure that I like Flame Tongue Totem either, to be honest.
Taste my sting.
Go ahead and swing into this guy. Question is, at this point, do I want a hero power? I mean, maybe next turn I just want to get down the Flame Tongue Totem and Schooling. Their turn 3 is likely going to be like a 3 health minion, I would think. I'm going to go ahead and use the hero power at this point. The 1/1 was a nice pickup, so if they play like a Haunting Nightmare or a Shadowed Spirit or whatever. Foul Leg. Oh, we hit the Bloodlust. I don't think I'm really worried about the Foul Leg. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and take the trade here. We're close on this. We're going to swing face. And then just go ahead and get the Schooling in our hands. Maybe should have played the Flame Tongue Totem on the opposite side, though. I haven't played with this card in so long. Our opponent, the Shadow Word Undeath. Interesting that they didn't do this. Oh, that's an insane top deck. They'll be able to trade to activate the Shadow Word Undeath. I guess I have to play around it. So I could drop this coin out Totemic Evidence. And play Thing from Below and just hold the weapon swing. And we would have a Taunt Totem, so this wouldn't die, and the Shadow Word Undeath, it would still clear all the 2 health totems, but it wouldn't deal 4 damage.
I am the harvester of wrath. Would you like to learn why?
Yeah, I think we do it. If they can't clear the board, we just win with the Bloodlust. Well, I guess it does die because this is buffed now. And they can even, like, swing into this, and then Shadow Word Undeath. But it still leaves us with a 5-2. I don't know, maybe this was bad. We just lose to the Shadow Word Undeath here. Oh yeah, and I was more than a little bit wrong about everything I said. Ignore everything that I just said. I'm gonna blame it on being tired because it's late in the day. This is exact lethal. I'm assuming they're gonna at least hero power one of these, but it would be exact lethal with Bloodlust if the entire board survives. And there's no taunt. Interesting. Yeah, it's exact lethal. We'll go ahead and play the Gigan Totem, just to have some fun with him here. Yeah, ignore everything I said this game. Charger only matters when the cards are good. Agree 100%. Maybe replace the Pools and Flame Tongue with Gorlock Ravager and Clownfish. I think that's the version I was playing before. It had Clownfish and Gorlock Ravager. Also kind of like Sea Giant in this deck. This is just the Vicious Syndicate list. I think it's a... Vicious Syndicate usually has good lists, although sometimes I do think they have a rare miss that people don't necessarily bring up. But I've gotten some lists from Vicious Syndicate that they were like, this is the list that you want to play, and then I played it and I'm like, huh? Might just be a skill issue. I wasn't good enough to be able to play the list. Alright, we keep the weapon. I'm almost positive that you don't keep the Mistake here. What else would we want, though? Tour Guide would be good. Anchor Totem. Eyesore and Stonewright. We're up against a Shaman. Maybe we just keep the Mistake. It's something to play on turn 1. I hate keeping stuff when my justification is it's something to play on turn 1. But it is a totem. It's going to cheapen up Thing from Below in the Gigan Totem. So I guess it's okay. This is insane. Might even be worth playing this on 2 rather than the Chisel here. I think I'm going to coin this out because it's possible our opponent can't remove it, and if it starts getting multiple buffs, it's just going to be really, really good. They're also overloaded. I'm not even thinking about it. That's the most straightforward turn I think I've seen in a long time. 2 a.m. here, just enjoying your stream. Keep it up. Virtual, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you hanging out. They spent a lot of resources to remove it, though, so I think I'm okay with the way this went down. Schooling gives us a way to be able to... a way to remove the spell power, which I think we want to do, right? I think I want to get this off the board.
Such choices.
It also works towards infusing the Famished Fool to be able to draw. Good thing about this is you potentially draw, like, you know, this stuff that could be cheap. I've only played 2 totems, though. But if I just equip the weapon and this sticks around, I'm going to go ahead and just make the schooling play here. And then we'll get a little bit of face damage. And then next turn I can go, like, Chisel. Maybe just draw with this. Could just put down the Flame Tongue Totem.
Who here can spell Zinjari?
Thing from below. So if I go... I can go chisel this guy. It's not good enough.
Such choices.
I'm gonna do it like this. We're gonna punch face. And... the problem is turn 5 for them is going to be Command of Neptulon. Which just puts us like way, way behind. They'll be able to take a value trade. I mean, if they Command of Neptulon, they trade here, they kill this, and then they kill this, and then they still have like the big boys on the board.
Time is short.
I'm going to shove the damage face here. If our opponent wants to make a value trade, I think we can potentially just punish them. They do have the Command of Neptulon. Opponents have everything. Opponents have everything. I can draw. And I guess we'll double trade here. I can swing face, and then I can get down my 5/5s that also just die to these. So not looking too good here. Next turn, we likely just reload with the Famished Fools. Totemic Evidence getting close to being infused. Not over, but... second Command of Neptulon. We're going to take another 10 damage. We're just going to lose to Command of Neptulon.
Taste my sting.
We're going to hold the weapon swing because I've got the totems, but I think we've actually just already lost this game. I don't know about this list. I think 2 Bloodlust is wrong pretty much always. Should be fine to climb early ladder with. Would you like to see my totem list? Yeah, if you can get it to me. I guess you could always send it to me like on Twitter. If nothing else. We played 2 of these. Is that like some kind of a flex? Oh man, it's... I think we're just dead. I'm pretty sure that we're actually just dead here, but we'll see what happens. We gotta make these trades. Man, 1 off on that Totemic Evidence. So I guess I'll play this. This guy, boom and boom. Taunt Totem, please. No Taunt Totem, so I think we're just dead here. If we're not dead, we kill him.
The storm is in me.
We're not dead, but we're also not winning the game, it looks like. Yeah. Man, they only drew... Look, they still have a kept card in their hand. They kept a card, we played 8 turns, and they never played that card, and I lost to this person. They drew both weapons, they drew Jive Insect, they drew both Command of Neptulons, all within like their top 10. The salt is real.
Lady Vance, Cesterian Mograine.
Play well, or be eliminated.
Only death is colder than the depths.
We definitely toss all of that. Another Death Knight donkey. I feel like I see this guy complain on Twitter a lot. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that, but I see this guy complain on Twitter a lot.
And close enough.
Yeah, this is going to hurt a little bit, but I mean, next turn we've got Anchor, Totem, and this. If they just hero power here, it's not that bad. Playing a minion is really bad. Playing 2 minions is even worse. So this is Unholy Death Knight. I'm going to have to take the board, I guess, as much as I can here. Sometimes the game give you the best draw. He had everything lined up. And I feel like all of my opponents have had everything lined up. Like favorable draws, favorable discovers. I don't know. It's probably, I feel like if that happens a lot, like game after game after game, it's probably more a sign that you're just playing a weak deck. Which I know I'm playing weak decks, so it's fine, but it's not necessarily the, you know, not necessarily the RNG aspect of it. My deck just doesn't do powerful enough stuff to be able to compete with what I'm playing against. Because outside of the Blood DKs, people are playing like decks that are strong in this meta. Created Howling Blast. We're going to well played our opponents here, and I'm going to see my way out of the game. Sick top deck, though. We're just never gonna be able to win. So I've had this theory, too, that if you end up on a bad run of RNG, or you feel like you're, you know, like Hearthstone is just scamming you, I feel like you restart the client. What do you guys think about that? It's like the instance of the client is bugged, so you actually just restart it, and then your luck is better when you come back. We're playing weak decks Tri-War here. That makes the problem even worse. Sometimes it's like that, just gotta wait for the regression to the mean and then go on a run. I feel like we played this guy earlier tonight. It's a pretty good hand. Problem is, they're gonna clear our board. Like, they have multiple clears. If they're running Immolation Aura as well as Unleash Fel, it feels like we just may never be able to stick a board. I feel like I hold the hero power. Because next turn I'm equipping the weapon anyway. So I know I'm not going to need the button. Or it's not like I'm going to, you know, miss a hero power. I don't want to spend my mana on that anyway. Amalgam. We're going to do this. We're going to swing. And again, next turn, I don't think I'm going to want a hero power next turn either. Or maybe I want to, like, do this and discover with the Amalgam. Maybe I can find, like, a 1-drop to be able to play.
I'll never stop searching.
My face, man. How come you didn't swing into my totem? Rockheel's a nice pickup. I'd like to be as wide as possible. And coin this out next turn. Ooh. Man. If it's Sinstone and I just play it, I swing, I hero power, and then I coin Rotgill next turn. That's better than just taking the Grand Totem. I think it's the 1-drop. Make as wide a board as I possibly can to be able to coin Rotgill on turn 4. That's what I'm doing.
You can't run from me.
And I can actually still just hold this hero power. So next turn, whatever survives, plus this, and then coin the Rotgill. And then I have a Bloodlust on turn 5. Crazy you haven't drawn Rotgill, capable of winning games on its own. I think you brought me some good luck here. So this is good. I think this is totally fine. We're happy with the way things have turned out here. Coin the Rotgill. Push face. Next turn I'll likely just go ahead and Bloodlust anyway. Even though I don't think it's actually lethal. But even if it's not lethal, you still just do it.
It is our time.
I guess it always depends on the top deck, but I don't think we're losing from this position. Or maybe it's actually, yeah, this was exact lethal, right? 6 minions to be 18 damage. We had exact lethal. Nice. Hearthstone throwing me a bone. Now I just need games to go like that for like another 5 or 6 games in a row, and I'll consider my luck even for the day. Probably not too much of a chance of that happening, but we can always hope.
Morgul versus Illidan.
The Legion's rage pales before mine.
Guess I'm gonna just keeping the totemic evidence. I kept it last game and it was never came into play. We actually hit Rotgill again too. Actual spell demon hunter this game, so that's interesting. The sad thing here is, I think I do want a hero power because depending on my top deck, I may actually want a hero power again next turn because I definitely don't want to play like both of these. It'll be a little bit sad if I draw a playable, but I don't think I'm willing to hold that hero power in this particular situation. Yeah, we do hit a playable here. Hang on to these and try to get them infused. If I can get like one of these out on turn 4 into Rotgill on 5, that'll be pretty good. We need our opponent to remove 2. Otherwise, maybe we just play both and hero power into Rotgill on 5. And then see where we're at. Send you my list on Twitter. Yeah, I'll check that out, Andy. I think some totem lists run Jive Insect. They might. I'm not sure how good that is, though.
I see.
Spectral Sight. Yeah, so they're not removing the minions here. It's also still an issue if they go like Arcanist, Unleash, Fell, everything but Rotgill dies, and it just gets a few buffs. That's probably not going to be enough to win the game, but again, I don't know that we can afford to play around it. This is just what our deck does, so we have to continue with it. They actually do kill both. So that's good for us. Oh man, that's insane. Hearthstone coming through. Trying to make things up for me here. I guess they could still remove the board with like Spell Power and Unleash Fell. They could clear off most of this, they just don't get the heal out of it, but they're still so healthy they don't need the heal anyway. If they clear most of this board, I probably just hold Rotgill and Totemic Evidence maybe for turn... Oh yeah, man. I like it. And this sticks? That's awesome. It's nice to not have to think about the plays. Probably bad. Funny card is funny. Yeah, Jive Insect is it's definitely a fun card. It's fun to be able to get Ragnaros back in the meta. I'm pretty sure we just won the game here. Now we only have one minion that dies to like spell power unleash Fel. They do get the heal, but this dies, everything gets buffed. They can swing in and kill this, but again, everything gets buffed. It just gets bigger and harder to kill. Let's see. Oh, Andy, you run 2 copies of Rowdy Fan. Thinstone Totem. Oh, wow. Mellowmania, Cold Storage. I think I had Mellowmania in like the first draft that I did of Totem Shaman as well. Just to try to create extra value out of the deck. Bloodlust. Oh, you don't run the Gigan Totems at all, so you don't run the these big boys here, the 8/8s. What's he doing? Going face? He goes face. I'm actually 2 off lethal here. I actually top deck lethal here. Alright, well that's 2 games in a row that Hearthstone has given me, but keep in mind, it's got to give me another 3 or 4 in a row for me to consider my luck even for the day, so we'll find out what happens with that. Yeah, that's interesting, Andy. Why did you decide to not run the 8/8s? Oh, that's just the first version. Okay. Updated version. Alright, I got you. Got you. I switched deck trackers recently. I used the Hearthstone deck tracker for years. I don't even know. Maybe when it came out. I can't remember. But I had an issue. Did you guys have an issue? I don't know if you play on PC or not. But it was almost like there was some kind of a memory leak. Or what I assumed was a memory leak. Me not necessarily being a big-time like tech person. But if I would play Hearthstone, have the deck tracker open, and be watching, like, say, a Twitch stream, my computer would crash. It was just a matter of time, which is kind of what made me think that it was a memory leak issue. That is unfortunate, dude. And so, like, just a couple of days ago, I switched over to the Firestone tracker, and I haven't had that issue. Plus, I feel like Firestone gets updated more. I feel like it has some features that maybe the Hearthstone deck tracker doesn't have. I don't know. It just feels better to me. This is going to be a big Demon Hunter. Like, nobody plays Taste of Chaos on that unless they're playing big Demon Hunter. Oof, man. I guess I don't need both. Just gonna summon a Strength Totem here. Turn 4, of course, is this, and then we'll have an infused Totemic Evidence.
It is our time to step out of the shadows.
Who's hiding now?
Carving Chisel. Definitely just want to get this down. That's like a no-brainer. And then we have to punch face. This dies guaranteed. Yeah, it is big Demon Hunter. They make very transparent plays, these big Demon Hunters. So I think, well, they do run AoEs, but maybe we just play into it anyway. Just go like Carving Chisel, Totemic Evidence. Let's see, 4, 5, and we can actually play a 10-8. That again kind of feels like a no-brainer. They won't be able to clear everything, And we're getting down a big boy. And then this frees us up to be able to push 6 face. So I think our opponent can clear a lot. I'm not sure that they clear everything. I guess if they have like Arcanist Immolation Aura exactly, and then they can... Well, no, they still can't remove this because they can't trade into it. Beam. That seems like a weird choice if you're playing Big Demon Hunter, because these are demons, so if they play that All Fel Breaks Loose, I think, the 5-mana card that resummons demons, you're going to resummon these 1/2s. I prefer Firestone. Right about the deck tracker happens to me too. PC gets slower and I have good gaming PC. Think deck tracker is buggy and unoptimized. Oh baby, 14, 16... 22, 23. Exact lethal. 25. Oh. Never mind. I can't do math either. I misplay. I can't do math. Somehow I win Hearthstone games. It's unfortunate. Let's see. Try this one. Try open up the right one this time here. Alright, we got Geigen Totems, 2 Bloodlust, 2 Shadow Suffusion. Party Favor Totem. Let's see. I personally, Andy, I'm just not a big fan of the Sinstone Totem. You feel like that's been a good card for you in the deck? And I kind of understand the Shadow Suffusions, but I'm not sure... I guess it's kind of like redundancy. But if you're running 2 Shadow Suffusion and 2 Bloodlust, I think you give yourself like a higher chance of having a bad draw. Like you draw, you know, Shadow Suffusions and Bloodlust, but you don't have minions to be able to use them on. So I kind of understand why, I just wonder if maybe it's like a little bit of overkill, maybe too much redundancy. But these lists are fairly close. No Tour Gods. I kind of like the Tour God. The free hero power has been pretty good. But the lists are definitely close. Nice having another 1-drop for the Anchor Totem. Yeah, I could see that. Do you feel like it's a liability, though? Like, if you don't have the Anchor Totem, do you feel like you'd rather have any other card out of your deck?
The Thunder King versus Tyrande.
Because if you just have to play it, like, even if it gets buffed up to more and more health,
I am the slayer of kings and gods.
man, I just don't know about keeping this card. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. Like, last game was good. I don't know, it's been good more than it's been bad. But I feel like I need plays. I'm assuming this is going to be Shadow Priest, and I feel like I want proactive plays, and I just don't want to play this on turn 1. Like, I might even want Schooling. We're on the coin, so we're going to be reacting to what they're doing if they're an aggro deck, so I feel like I want Schooling, Tour Guide, Chisel. Actually going to toss it. Maybe it's like a matchup dependent thing, or going first versus going second thing. So we can go Mistake on 1, and I'm probably just going to coin out the Eyesore and just hope that they can't remove it on turn 2. Alright, well this changes things. So, does our opponent have another minion, is the question. If they don't have a minion, we'll be able to remove this.
You are the Shadow's puppet.
Oh wow. Ah, that is not good.
grave mistake.
Just gonna set up the kill on this for next turn. Tour Guide really good, especially with Anchor Totem. Tour Guide, you can keep your free hero power. Yep, that's true. Pretty easy to buff the attack of totems. That's also true. Totemic Evidence is a keep if you have the weapon, but not otherwise. That's interesting. Makes it easier to infuse. Look at this, man. If this was a different matchup, like, we're insane at this point. But I feel like we're going to end up losing this game because we're behind on board, but we drew, like, the 2 I win cards here.
You have made a grave mistake.
But I think we're just taking too much damage. They shove 7, potentially 9. I think I want to coin out the mistake, to be honest, so that it gets the buff. And it's on the board for next turn.
Job's done.
So, I mean, they can trade here and trade here. That's exactly what they do. Brittle Skin Zombie. Not really worried about the egg. But it kind of means we can't kill this. Is it just a schooling play? I feel like it is. I think we actually just have to play the schooling, but how are we ever winning? I mean, I can't just take all this damage, though.
Flexing.
At this point, it's better to make this trade. But then we're taking like 10, 12. It's like we're just losing the game.
I must ponder.
Alright, I'm going to make the schooling play. And I think I actually want to put my face into this guy. And then see where the buffs go. Not the egg. Okay. So I can go... there, there. And then we'll go... here and here. We totally clear the board. But again, we're so far behind, I think we just lose. I feel like this is a matchup where going first is a big advantage.
Death will not be a mercy for you.
Yeah, okay. Why do they always have this? Always they have this on turn 4 or turn 5. It's a one of in the deck, and they always draw it in like the first 5 cards. Always. Unless you're me playing the deck, then you never see it. Yeah. Ew, playing Brittle Skin. Yeah, another bad card. Tinstone better against Blood Decay than Tour Guide. Interesting. This version is inherently wrong. Yeah, Brittle Skin. I don't think it's ever Brittle Skin. You just don't play that card. It's not good enough. Worst version of Shadowed Spirit. There's got to be better undeads to play, yeah. Back to the Death Knights here. I kind of wonder, is Rotgill a keep? I kind of think Rotgill is not a keep. I think you throw it back. I'm going to keep the evidence, though. Yeah, I don't think I can keep Rotgill. That might be incorrect. We'll see how it works out. You got to be careful about playing Amalgam on mistake as well. We hit the Chisel. I'm tempted to use this. If I hit a 1/1 totem, it's good. And if I hit the Strength totem, it's not as good. I guess I'll just hold the hero power.
The fallen will serve.
4-mana legendary, too strong. Well, the good news is that didn't do anything for him. But it's Unholy Death Knight. This has to be a bad matchup. And I don't want to give him a corpse, so I'm going to swing into this and just start to soften it up. And that'll be good. So we're going to be working on infusing these guys. I need a way to be able to buff the attack of my totems, though. Still no corpse until the next turn. But I'm not going to be able to kill this. Yeah, this is... I probably should have used the hero power and hoped that they killed it, because this isn't infused, but I don't think I can wait anymore. Maybe I can. They're going to get a 1-3 anyway, so maybe I just kill the 1-1 to get it out of the way. Discover a totem. I think it's definitely one of the 1-manas. This is interesting, but I really just want stuff on the board, I think. And I'm going to take the thing that has attack. So I'm going to do that. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and coin out this other one. I need as much attack on the board as I can possibly get. And I'm going to go ahead and use the free hero power. So if I draw potentially something like the Stone Right, I just need stuff on the board to be able to buff, because I need to make some trades here. Hey, Dazzledorn. How's it going? It's going okay. Hearthstone being a little mean to me today, but that's alright. Created by Frost Strike. You love to see it. Been getting created by quite a bit today. Other than that, I think it's alright. This is infused. These are some questionable trades here. Anchor Totem is a pretty sick top deck. So we'll take it. And then we're going to play one of our infused. So I am going to have to swing here. I guess I want to remove the 2-3. But obviously I don't have space on the board to summon another totem, but I need to get that off the board. We're really wide now. Our opponent's probably scared of Bloodlust. They don't realize that our hand is not that great. The one thing that I like about this being on the board is they're using their corpses, so they don't have like the corpses for grave strength. If Merogar ever comes down, it's going to be small minions, so all that's good, but it does put a 1-3 on the board that I have to try to fight through. 100% with Pure Paladin, nice. Glad it's going well for you. Pure Paladin, probably a better deck than what I've been playing. Stop playing Arena unless I get a free ticket. My draft luck is bad. I don't really enjoy Arena. I'm kind of with you on that. Wow, we actually top deck the Bloodlust. I want to take some value trades here for sure and just get stuff off the board. It's unfortunate that they're drawing cards, but it is what it is. And I'm just going to go ahead and use this. Again, we're not going to get full value, but with the Bloodlust in hand, I just want to get the widest board that I possibly can. I still don't think we're going to be able to kill him with the Bloodlust, but we may just have to play it anyway next turn. It feels like we're losing, though. Our opponent just has so much more resources than we have. Hey Transitory, hey, found your channel through the Spell Demon Hunter live stream. Started to watch all your content, really been enjoying it. Thank you so much, I'm glad you're enjoying it. You showed up just in time to see me get smacked around by Unholy Death Knight here. Oh man. Every time I'm ready to concede, I get just enough that I decide that I'm going to keep going here. I'm gonna sneak in some face damage. At least if we lose, it's not like a flawless victory. I'm glad they overdrew on that. So they can go boom. It still feels like we're not winning this game. It's also becoming increasingly likely that they've drawn Lord Marrowgar for next turn, and they're getting more and more corpses. Marrowgar probably just ends it, because even if the rush minions are small, they'll still be big enough to clear our side of the board, and then they have at least the, what's Marrowgar, like a 9/7?
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody?
I probably should have conceded this game a while ago. Yeah, I think it's just over at this point. I mean, there's no top deck that's going to put me back in the game.
Pick me! Pick me!
Talk, little Death Knight.
And again, I'm just, like, getting really, really hurt by the created stuff, man. Death Knight just doesn't have bad discovers. I think it's an issue because Death Knight, like, even with the changes that they've made, Death Knight still has the best discover pool of any class in the game. They have no bad discovers. So they took away, like, the highest of high rolls, but there's just no bad discovers. You always find something good and something you can use, and the only way that they can fix that is if they print bad cards for Death Knight, which they could do, but the problem is, it looks like every expansion, the Death Knight cards are going to get a different focus. So, like, I think Blood got the majority of its cards for this entire Hearthstone year in this set. So then, like, the next set, maybe Frost, the last set, maybe Unholy. So if they're going to poison the Discover pool for Death Knight, they have to disproportionately hurt some of the runes and the deck building. So I don't think it's an issue that's going to be, like, easily addressed. Shadow Suffusion probably would have cleared their board. That's a good point, Andy. You're right about that. They should let me trade arena tickets for gold? I'm just not a big arena fan. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm not an arena fan either. Yeah, I'm just like Dazzladorn here. Pure standard player. Shadow Priest. If I play the Anchor Totem, they just bump into it and ping. I want to hold it, especially with the Piranha in hand. I think I'm just going to go Tempo Amalgam. The problem is, against Shadow Priest, I feel like I'm never going to have a wide board to be able to get the get down the Rotgill. And in this particular situation, I think I just want to play the Piranha even without the Anchored Totem. I hit here. Yeah, I'm going to have to just play all three Piranha, and then next turn I can maybe go like Chisel and Anchored Totem. This will clear their board. And it's going to do it before they can get out the... I don't think they still have the coin. The deck tracker better not be letting me down, otherwise I'm going to be complaining. But as long as there's no, like, Basilisk this turn, I think this is going to end up being a pretty good turn for us. Then we've got Boom Boom into turn 5, Rotgill. That was a pretty good turn for him. I don't think it changes our play, though. Just going to punch face. That Taunt Totem here is actually pretty clutch as well. Next turn I can swing and Rotgill, whatever we have left on the board. Maybe it's going to be just enough. Still have 54 unopened packs for Mercenaries mode that I never finished the tutorial. I was actually interested in Mercenaries and it just never panned out. I played the PvP a decent amount. Maybe I actually save the Rot Gill for when the Totemic Evidence is infused. That means I can't play the card draw this turn, though. So if I don't play Rot Gill, my turn is, like, awful. Hero Power, Tour Guide, and then I've got these next turn. I think it's the play, though. It doesn't feel great floating the 2 mana, but if they like take a trade and then Shadow Word Undeath, I'm going to come back with a bigger, better board. There's a Bloodlust. I guess I just have to do it, right? Can I take trades and get these things bigger than 4 health?
Such choices.
The problem is board space too, though. I can punch here. Get my 4 totems. Then I'm going to Rot Gill. And then I can hit this guy.
Your tour ends here.
Kill you. And hit here. Ah, it's not enough. They have Shadow Word Undeath, it still clears the board. I might have misplayed that turn. I had good intentions, but it just didn't work out. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I do have the big Rot Gill. This is their entire turn.
Don't keep your thoughts to yourself.
2 cards in hand, and that's what they have. Gonna draw some cards. Anchor Totem is nice. Maybe for next turn. Rot Gill's a Murloc. I'm going to equip the weapon. We're going to go ahead and use the free hero power, and then I'm going to discover a totem here. And we're going to take the eyesore for sure. I feel like I have to make this trade. And then I'm just going to punch my opponent in the face. So next turn we'll be able to get down eyesore and anchor totem, and we'll be able to summon at least 2. So that'll be good. Opponent gets the schooling out of my deck, that's great. So they're going a long way towards clearing our board here. Okay. We're okay with that. So let's see, 7 mana. So I'm going to go eyesore, this, hero power, swing face. And then the question is, do I take the trade? Just going to push the damage face, no reason to trade. I mean, if they trade and they have exactly second Shadow Word Undeath, then this ends up being really bad for me. If they don't have second Shadow Word Undeath, we just won the game. Okay. Oh, Benedictus, man, you hate to see that card. Don't even have to count, it's just gotta be lethal. Yeah. I haven't played an arena game in a long time, man. I think I got 12 wins one time, like 7 or 8 years ago, and then just never played again. I find it to be so uninteresting, because in Arena you just end up, like, every deck feels so weak. A lot of it comes down to the draft, who gets offered the best cards, and you know, there is some skill involved in the draft, but if you just get offered, like, the best card in the game, I think the average person is going to take it. I don't know. Like I say, I just don't enjoy it at all.
Lady Vash versus Scabs. Let's get right to the point.
I also don't even do the, This is Rogue. Bad matchup, it's gotta be. I don't do the, What's the other thing? Tavern Brawl. I don't do Tavern Brawls anymore either. I haven't done those in a couple of years. Alright, get in there, Mistake. Arena just curve stone. Yeah, and I feel like every time people want more nerfs in Standard, Standard gets closer to the Arena experience. I like powerful stuff. I do understand that, like, some stuff is too strong and it needs to be, like, reeled back in, which is fine. But I like being able to do powerful things. And even to a certain extent, like this deck, I'm enjoying it now, but if I played this, like, every single day, I would very quickly get bored with Hearthstone, because you're just basically trying to curve out and hit your buff cards. But I feel like there's other decks that are just a lot more interesting. Also, I didn't realize I didn't click the end turn.
Curses.
I thought my opponent was roping. Just gonna get this down and go face. I really don't think we're winning this game anyway, but this potentially infuses the party favor totem if both of these die. Our opponent just drew 4. It's not good. Alright. Just going as wide as possible to try to create a threatening board. Our opponent kind of has to do something now, but likely they want to do something anyway. They're going to have, like, serrated bone spikes. Who knows? I doubt this board actually survives, but maybe we get lucky here. I feel like this deck is more about setting up powerful swing turns with Anchored Totem and Rotgill. Alright, there's that. What else do you have? Second Bone Spike, man. Opponents draw everything. They have Prep Fan of Knives as well. A third Bone Spike. Are they trolling? Don't tell me they do all this and play a location and have like a 10-10 on the board. Stenographer. I mean, the good news here is they just played all of that, and there's no location on the board. And this is going to be a game where it's going to be like a turn 6 Rotgill Totemic Evidence as well. That'll be infused. So turn 5 we draw cards, turn 6 we've got Totemic and Rotgill, and hopefully that's going to be enough to get there. With everything our opponent did last turn though, they still have 7 cards in hand. They also hit Putricide, by the way. That's good news for them, I would think. You know, always hard to tell. Plus they have Astalor, at least all their... Well, they still have Shadow Steps and stuff. This is pretty disgusting. I'm pretty sure we're just out of the game, but I'm going to play it out. We do have the Evidence Rotgill turn, but we may be dead before then. I mean, they're just going to continue to create additional value off of the Putricide. I can't do anything to remove this. They've already got an Astalor. They could Shadow Step it. It's also a 37% chance to be able to hit draw 2 twice off of the potion belt. So they hit the 37% on that. They've been able to play 3 serrated bone spikes. It's just another one of those games where our opponent has everything. And so it feels like we're not getting there. Also, the Posic coming down. I'm not even sure this is supposed to be in their deck. So, I made a play, but I really feel like this is all irrelevant. I mean, we can play like the Eyesore. We're just not winning the game. How did they draw every legendary in the deck? I have no idea. Oh, and they also hit Krakatoa here. Only reason Rogue is even remotely playable in today's meta is Shadow Step Astalor. Well, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, Taylor. They didn't Shadow Step Astalor this game. They also haven't played a location, and we're just getting destroyed with this by the board pressure. But when you draw your entire deck by like turn 7, this looks bugged. Oh, there's the Shadow Step Astalor. I don't think that's going to be the reason why we lost here, though. I don't even know what to do with this. Other than maybe take a screenshot of it. These are apparently on my side of the board. Shouldn't they be on the opponent's side of the board? Not totally sure what happened here. Maybe we're actually still in this game. What is this? We have another schooling. No anchor totem here. So we're gonna make sure that we kill this guy. We're gonna want to remove the Astalor. And I guess we'll hit that. It's gonna make it more likely that this survives. I really think something bad happened here. Like, these should have been summoned for our opponent, right? When their Posic died. They went on our side of the board and they were kind of stuck here. I don't understand what happened. Very normal card function, don't think about it. I hate Rogue and Priest. Paladins, they have cheating cards, it's not balanced. Hey, Virtual, when you start listing things like that, I think you gotta start talking about, like, what classes do you like? How did they give you those bots? It has to be a bug. Should I just concede? Concede the bugged game? Or is this Hearthstone trying to make up for all of the rude RNG that I've been experiencing throughout the evening? Oh, wow. Ah, that's unfortunate. We had lethal. We're actually only 1 off lethal. Oh no, wait. It's lethal.
Curses.
Bugged interaction. But listen, I gotta be honest, man. Look at what our opponent did. They drew their entire deck. I don't feel guilty at all. I deserve that game for having to put up with everything that our opponent did. Just being totally honest, man. All the serrated bone spikes. I mean, the turn that they had, they never even drew the location and we were behind on board. I deserved to win that game of Hearthstone. I stand by that 100%. All right, that's actually going to do it for the stream. I'm going to have to try to get in bed. I've got to work tomorrow. Definitely appreciate you guys hanging out. It's always nice to be able to get to see you and to interact a little bit. I am going to, I'll throw this deck code into the chat if I can figure out how to do it with the new deck tracker. Played 10 games, we won 6, 60% win rate. For anybody that's interested in this specific list, this is the Vicious Syndicate list. No guarantees that you're going to benefit from the bug, as I did. I'm probably going to try to send that in to somebody on to Blizzard, maybe through Twitter, just to let them know that something funky was going on here. But thank you so much. I appreciate you hanging out. I'll probably do another live stream maybe later this week. And I'm going to have more videos on various decks that are going to be coming out throughout the week. So thank you again so much. Appreciate your support. Thank you for stopping by. If you've been here for a while and you haven't already, consider maybe hitting that like button. That'll definitely help me out going forward. And outside of that, good luck on your new season climb, getting back to where you were. And also good luck maybe forging some new grounds, getting to a higher rank that you haven't been to before. I'm Uncorrupt, and I will catch you guys later.